we interrupt our regular scheduled Academy broadcast to bring a little bit of a one-shot. We're temporarily down a player, so we will be running something that is happening concurrently. This is the Saturday of the raid that we just played. During the day, I would say somewhere around, it's about 2 p.m.-ish at present. We are far from Empress City, about 5 days by train, but 2 days by the method of transport that you are all currently within. We don't see your group at present. What we're looking at is a command deck, a bridge of some description. There's a raised platform in the middle with a spiral staircase that heads down, and beneath a young but very serious, very experienced looking commander sits a series of smaller stations with crystalline orbs and runic crystal display panels. There is a opening in front of all of these individuals that just opens out into the air. You can see the vast expanse of the Zemesian waste in front of them, and you can see that they are rapidly moving forward. The only thing that separates them from the outside world is a marquee field that sort of covers the opening, and then some sort of soft shimmering barrier, perhaps some sort of wall of force or otherwise, that separates the central command unit from the outside wastes. Several people stand nearby with a large war table that looks like something that would be more at home in a noble's manor than it does here on a command bridge, and yet there are old maps of Zemesia. There are individuals with these ancient, like, caliper-like tools measuring distances. Some individuals consulting each other about the position of the stars and their approximate location. The commander, overseeing all of this from above, makes note that it will be soon that they will reach the point where they need to drop their Empress Knights off. He looks down at a small compass, a metal circle in his hands with a glass case over the top, and inside is a tiny little fragment of a stone tablet. At the very edge of the etching of ancient Zemesian is visible some fragment of what looks to be quite a dry, perhaps legal text or something like that for someone who can speak the tongue. But there are, on the stone, several identical looking red marks, little thumbprints of dried blood. The captain takes a small knife from his pocket, pricks his thumb, opens up the glass case, and adds his thumbprint to the stone. At this point, through the Codex Equus, his mind becomes linked to that of the Empress Knights in the drop bay. Deeper within the ship, past defensive soldiers that await the attack on the ship by miasmic monsters, past the crew that are keeping all the complex mechanical engines in check, people who regulate crystal outputs, who make sure that there is no jam in machinery that is not tested, as this is a remake, a fancy and up-to-date, incredibly prototype version of an old classic as far as the military of Empress is concerned. But into the guts we do descend, and we find ourselves in a chamber that is spherical. It droops down, and there are little platforms for people to stand on, but the space itself is sort of alien and odd in the sense that it doesn't match the square corridors of everything else. There is an iris at the bottom designed to open up and allow various things to drop. Above the Empress Knights, above you guys right now, hanging from a series of safety chains and kept in place with little scripture and tags on it, is a large explosive device that looks more like a drill covered in religious imagery, sort of dangling, waiting to be dropped through the iris should it be required. But the main payload of this airship is all of you. So I guess I'm asking, what does it look like as you await your deployment into the field, the airship moving at an incredible pace beneath your feet? Who's there?
I think Rundia would pretty much be there. Shall I describe him, or?
Yeah, give me a description of what you look like.
Ironically, for Rundia, he himself is far less memorable in any capacity than the shit he wears. Like, his face, his stature, the way he walks is fairly somewhat average. He seems to move a little bit more lithe and agile than the average person, and he is a decent 1 to 2 feet taller than them, being unnaturally large due to some of the runes he's wearing. But overall, he doesn't seem that impressive. His armor, though, is mostly covered in runes. You have on the left and right side, you have 2 different shades of blues with 5 runes slightly glimmering. On the frontal hand, one in green, the other in purple, lightly shining. The chest has a lightly glimmering yellow rune on top of it, signifying it yet another boost of some sort. As well as along the spine, 5 brownish glowing runes that are a bit larger. Also symbolizing some kind of effect.
Looking more armed and armored, like a typical knight of Empress, as opposed to something more modern, yeah? So something a bit more rooted in the past with all these runes and metallic aspects to yourself, yeah? Is that the...
Pretty much. Though the runes appear to be mostly... the metal armor appears to be mostly as a sort of carrier for the runes than really for its protective aspect.
Yes, gotcha. Anyone else, as Runedia is sort of waiting in this space with the rest of you?
Solus. Very tall and lanky individual, dressed in fine clothes, some of which almost archaic forms of robes once worn by nobility, sits very leisurely, almost bored looking. Their skin is pale, their hair is dark with red streaks, and there is a touch of makeup around the eyes, also slightly red, and they idly play with a deck of cards that they shuffle, flip from one hand to the other, just practicing tricks, as it were. Occasionally they will look up and give the other Eldritch Knights a very inquisitive glance, trying to pry into the people behind the names, and then they will go back to playing with their cards.
And there's 2 others within this space. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first, otherwise we'll be here forever. There's a also rather handsome, younger-looking man who appears to be paying zero attention to anything that's going on inside this actual compartment, and is just repeatedly filling up various syringes and glass bottles and storing them in what can only be described as like a bandolier on the inside of his coat.
Busying yourself storing and preparing for what comes next, yeah?
Presumably so.
Presumably so. And that leaves nothing but your character, Roach. What are we looking at?
Fine, right. Arguably, would say this one is the shortest one of the bunch. Though, not any less imposing. Say about 5 foot even. Sporting a, say, moderately sized, hefty warhammer on her back. Just occasionally fiddling with it.
Fiddling with like a nervous disposition, or more like just tuning it before the fight, or whirling it around in sort of like a practice swing? What are we?
More like a practice swing, yes. Contrary to artistic depiction, just does not have that much of a outward expression. More just like very focused on what is ahead.
In this moment, as you prepare in the space, you feel the tingle of another mind join the network that you have sort of imposed upon yourself by imprinting a blood thumbprint on this small piece of stone when this operation began. The mind of the captain of this ship, Adan Theru. All at once you are made aware it will not be long until we arrive. From what we can tell, it will be a warm welcome. There will be many things awaiting you as you drop from the ship. We will assist in clearing a path to the main structure. Once you are inside, we will attempt to lure away the majority of the outside creatures. We will return in 30 minutes, which means you have 30 minutes to get in, explore, and get out with the package. Once you have the individual in question, this archaeologist that has been, for all intents and purposes, kidnapped by the miasmic, a strange concept as they are not one for taking prisoners in a general sense. There is a set of ravines to the south. Make your way there. It will be covered from anything in the sky, and the ship will lower quickly to pick you up. It will not wait long, especially if things are still busy out there. So be quick, be efficient, and be ready for pickup. As much as your mission has given priority to the extraction of this archaeologist, at the end of the day, Empress values you for more. If you cannot save them, leave without them and return to the ship. Do any of you ask questions or share information via this mind link, either with the captain or each other in this moment?
So, they're taking prisoners now. How lovely.
What's the makeup of what will await us? Any expectations?
Captain's mind will reach back to you and say, mostly on the surface it seems to be a swarm of smaller miasmic creatures, both what are known as miasmic ravagers and miasmic infantry. In the air there is one leviathan and quite the swarm of shrikes, but the ship will do their best to handle that for you. You're to focus on blazing a path to the structure and heading inside. once inside, unfortunately, information gets spotty. None of the scouts went beyond the perimeter, and that is all they seem to know.
Okay. In terms of power level, roughly how well does one of those miasmic ravagers or infantry stack up to an EK? Like, let's say 4 of them.
I would say this is the kind of thing that you can chew through. You're not miasmic infantry and ravagers are pretty. They're usually dangerous in huge swarms, and for someone like you, not so much.
Okay. Okay. Right. In that case, Rundia is mostly like checking the runes that they're still having power. Checking the green rune, you see him like touch one of, like in his pocket, pick out a stone. It grows green for a glows green for a second before it's slightly covered in some kind of substance. Satisfiedly puts it back. Right. Already here? How's the rest of you?
I'll make it work.
Ready.
Okay.
Ready.
You hear the sound of hydraulic systems whirring to life. Water is pumped through a series of pipes that pass through transmutation fields, and all of a sudden the airship dumps about 10 gallons of water into the upper air, which very quickly turns into a haze of needles. Anything pursuing this ship is immediately torn to pieces as it passes through a cloud of shrapnel that then drifts to the ground, ensuring that anything following on foot so too grinds itself to death in pursuit of the vessel. There is a whir as the iris begins to open up beneath you, and as Empress Knights, you're aware that if you pass through that iris, you will be under the effect of a Featherfall spell and able to drift harmlessly down whenever you choose to drop. You also hear the sound of other weapons and individuals engaging in combat. As there are impacts to the ship, you hear the pulse of crystal, you hear the roar of engine, and you hear the captain's voice cueing you in with a countdown. You've got like a 10, 9 sort of countdown. Is there anyone doing anything particular when you're looking through the iris or paying attention to the environment around you? Is there anything you want to do before you jump?
This ship, is it clearing our environment within like 300 feet in our surroundings, or would it make sense to like do pot shots already to like clear?
If you see something and you want to take a shot at it in this moment, you absolutely can, yeah.
In that case, I would, like, my weapon would essentially turn from the longsword that it typically represents into something more of a kind of projectile launcher. It's not really a gun, as it more shoots things that I on the fly instruct with runes. And then I just launch those into the surroundings. Every salvo of 3 shots, one of those is coated in a green liquid.
Yeah, go ahead and give me 3 shots.
Okay. The first one of each will be having a poison attached to it with a DC 14 con save.
Go for it.
But yeah, that's up. And that's I think I'd be starting those off with radiant attacks. So
Yeah, go for it.
And yeah, even like if the poison matters, I'll roll it, but otherwise, it's fine.
Yeah, take your shots. Let's see what we get.
No, those were the shots. The poison is a DC 14 con save against 2d8 damage and poison condition.
Am I the only one not seeing stuff pop up? Is everyone else seeing stuff in the chat that's come through?
I
I
do
have
not see
rolled-
it either.
Let's see if Roll20 wants to play ball today.
I am setting. Okay, I'll reload the page. Maybe it's just me or something.
Yeah, give it a quick reload. In the meantime, while Renedia's taking shots at the creatures below, is anyone else looking out for anything, or also joining in trying to trim the crowd before you leap from the ship?
I want to get a good look at that Leviathan.
Yeah, give me a perception check. 21. Basically, like, I see that, Renedia. I don't see any other role. Solace, as you kind of lean and take a look at the environment around the ship, using various viewpoints around the drop pod, this bulge that sits at the belly of the ship, you see a gargantuan eldritch whale creature, long body, almost like it's been stretched out to the point it's almost ribbony at the end, like it wants to keep going, but it physically can't. It's like stretched to the point of almost falling apart. And it has seen the ship and is sort of like turning and directing itself towards where the vessel is coming from. You see across the surface of its skin, almost like chemical eruption, boils that pop, and these pods come streaking towards the ship. You hear the sound of high pressure air rifle fire as several of them are shot down, and then others impact into the marquee field around the ship and are sort of disintegrated. Is there anything in particular you want to know about this creature as you're looking at it, at the Leviathan?
I want to try and figure out if it has any weaknesses.
As you look at the creature and you consider what might be a weakness for it, you don't see anything that's like, oh, it's winged. It has fins, but it seems to drift through the air, almost levitating more than flapping anything. However, on a 21, and in this moment, all of you can taste a sort of ozone to the air as the most experimental weapon on the ship charges up. A baric lance of lightning arcs out from the ship to the Leviathan, and as lightning traces across the surface, killing many of these smaller pods that are attempting to jump out instantly, it ruptures different sections of Leviathan, causing it to fall down. You become aware in this moment that it is lightning that this creature does not enjoy being struck with. Did see jumper, but not the second one, Runedia. I'm assuming that 30, 24, and 13 were the attack rolls, though?
That is correct, and I have also identified that triggering the macro from within the character sheet leads to it showing up for me and me only. I do not understand. I'll just copy-paste the macro text into the chat every time.
Okay.
Is it set on Whisper?
Ooh, could be.
Don't think so.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think that makes sense, because if it's showing up for you but not us, it sounds like it is whispering
Is there a
to yourself.
setting for that?
I couldn't tell you, unfortunately, off the top of my head. We do see, however, Runedia, that you do destroy a cluster of Ravagers as the accelerated rune devices shoot straight down, several impacts, a flood of poison bursting out over several. One cluster of these Ravagers is disintegrated under your fire. So we've had one person looking at Leviathan, another person taking shots. Anyone else in this moment?
No, I'm good.
Just preparing to jump, and that leaves you, Roach. The Divine Right. Are you ready to jump, or are you doing anything in particular before you go? Oh, you might be muted, Roach. I don't know.
Well, yep. Sorry.
No worries. Anything in
What was
particular?
that one more time?
Anything in particular, or are you just sort of like ready to jump at this point?
Ready to jump at this point.
Okay. The countdown completes. Each of you throws yourself into the opening beyond. You feel the wash of the arcane over you, and the muffling protection of the ship is ripped away. The whip of air as you come rushing down. You are descending from on high. You pass through a cloud of what I can only describe as teeth with wings, like membrane, like bat wings that stick out of the root of the tooth and are flying almost like autonomous aerial torpedoes following after the ship. They don't seem to care that you briefly breeze through them. They are focused on following the Fractal 2. As you descend, you can look around yourself and you begin to see the ship engaging with the Leviathan and the Shrikes in the distance. You are barreling towards the ground, and then the spell sort of like kicks in that slows your descent. Ravagers and miasmic beings that look like infantry, like soldiers. Their arms morph into spears and swords and bow-like weapons. Some of them even firing up at your descent, but the sort of arrow projectiles don't make it to where you are yet. What do you want to do during your descent towards the miasmic? Or are you impacting down into like a nearest cluster? How do you want to approach this?
I would shoot at the clusters nearest to our arrival zone to like give us some space, particularly knowing that we are fairly ranged heavy. I'm trying to make it so we can like drop down and then just wail from a distance as opposed to having to contend with enemies nearby.
Yeah, go ahead and take a shot at like one of the central clusters of Ravagers where you are descending.
Okay. 1 second. Ranged. No, normal attack, radiant. That's a miss. I
Yeah,
believe.
first shot misses as the horde splits and the impact detonates, sending little chunks of miasma and stone in all directions, but misses your mark on the first shot.
It was only a single shot, right? Or do I get to?
You get your full attack action.
Okay, wasn't sure how this was being handled. Okay, second.
Would hit, and the third hits as well. One more cluster cleared as the direct landing zone underneath you is wiped out by a series of runic bombardments from Runedia. Anyone else as you're heading?
I would like to activate my Crimson Right.
Absolutely. What Crimson Right are you activating?
I forgot what the exact name it likes to use. Right of the Flame.
Okay.
As they drag one of the cards across their fingers, making a sharp cut that bleeds and soaks into the unassuming piece of what would be whatever material the card is made out of,
Card.
and catches it alight as their blood actively turns flame as it drips down.
And launching a flaming card at one of the nearest Ravager swarms, or?
Yes.
Yeah, go for it. 20 hits. 9 damage, but an additional 1d6 fire on top, or is that actually all coming through in that one?
That is all coming from.
Okay.
These things are so hard to read.
Yeah, it's a little difficult, huh? As you throw the card out and it burns up, it ignites, slicing through several of these creatures. It doesn't quite take out one of these swarms, but you notice that the fire makes most of the swarms uneasy. Who do you want to hand a teamwork point to?
I'm going to hand a teamwork point to the March of Progress.
Absolutely. March of Progress, you have 1 teamwork point, and I guess the question is, March of Progress, would you prefer I call you March? Would that be easier to...
No, that's gonna be so... You can, I suppose.
March or Progress? Progress might be a good way of going about this.
Yeah, it works.
What do you want to do in this moment as well? Are you getting to the ground, or are you taking shots nearing the floor?
I think I'm gonna try and get on the ground as soon as possible. I don't like the idea of being stuck in the air.
Yeah, you touch down, you've got like a cleared area, you can see that aerial attacks are coming from some of your teammates, which has put a little bit of fear into the Ravager swarms, although the infantry don't seem to care. They're starting to morph their arms into like long pike-like weapons and almost advance on you in a phalanx type situation at present.
How easy is it to see our path to like where we should be going?
So you guys are like here-ish in the very middle, and you're pathing up towards this. There's like an opening up here at the end of the blue mark I've made.
Does there look to be anything that is impeding that path at current,
yeah,
other than the massive monsters?
Yeah, there is like the formation of the infantry, but the opening itself is like overgrown with a weird it almost looks like hive material, but it's gray in color, almost like a metallic hive covering that goes over the surface. There is still space that you could squeeze through, but it is obstructing your view of what's beyond a little bit.
Okay, with that in mind, I'm gonna take my action to conjure up a vial of acid from my pack.
Yep.
And I will keep that until I can get close enough to throw it at the material.
Okay, so you conjure up something to help clear your path into the structure itself. Anything else from you?
No, I think that'll be me.
Alright, that leaves us with Divine Right.
DV for short.
A DV?
So, just off the top of my head, just thinking like landing, my weapon doesn't have a alternate form or a ranged form, so it's just gonna have to be getting to the closest thing and then just like whacking it.
You just want to like meteor down into the largest cluster of Ravagers you can see, basically, just like...
I would prefer that. Yes,
yeah,
that
absolutely, go for it.
Okay, just hitting real quick. How does this work? Yep.
22 absolutely hits.
Damage.
17 damage, finishes off the cluster that had been somewhat damaged by one of your allies. And you do still have another attack if you want it, I believe.
I believe I have 2 more attacks.
Oh, yes, you are right. I forgot how fucking high level you are. Go ahead.
Let's see. Let me just minimize this.
Absolutely would hit. Another 17 damage. Leaves one more cluster. One swing as you catch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like line of like these creatures scrambling across the floor. Chitinous armor shattering from the impact. You almost finish off another swarm in one hit.
And another 28.
Will certainly hit as well.
10.
10 damage is your third and final swing. Finishes off this next cluster. At this point, you see above you, from the airship, there's like 2 arms that extend off either side of the ship, with just pods of marquee fields at the end. There are 2, essentially supporting snipers strapped onto those in full body, almost like diving suits to keep them oxygenated. And the same oxygen tubes feed like a high pressure rifle. You hear the thwip and zip of supporting gunfire as the ship circles overhead, taking out a swarm of Shrike and also picking off some of the outside individuals of the sort of infantry pike formation that's moving towards you guys as the Fractal 2 supports you from above. In this moment, you are swarmed, DV, by a whole lot of Ravagers that will attempt to chew through your shell, so give me 1 second.
DV is within 30 or 60 feet of me, correct or not correct?
I would say 60 feet, yeah.
So, question: how many of I could take 3 crystals? Yes, like
That's
4
correct.
crystals.
Yeah.
Can I take any of the same spells?
You technically could take the same spells, yeah.
So I went into this with the expectation that I could carry 3 shield crystals.
You could use shield if you wanted to.
Yep.
Uh, Yeah, using the crystal.
That picks my AC up to 24.
As like 20 to 30 of these ravenous predator creatures start to swarm over you, the crystal glows and a barrier of arcane force gets between you and the teeth. The first attack misses, but there will be more as more Ravager swarms attempt to get through. However, only the natural 20 as eventually your shield is overwhelmed by sheer numbers. Yes.
I am activating, as I see this, my right hand shoots out, not the flat of the surface, and one of my runes deactivates, triggering a runic shield in front of Dia. I would like for you to reroll that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me re-roll the one that hit.
Another nat 20.
19, however, misses as with the aid of the runes of Runedia, you are able to stave off an entire horde of these attacks trying to get through your shell. The pressure of the arcane energy keeping them at bay, almost throwing them back off of you as you activate it, like a pulse of energy that pushes them off of you. In the meantime, one of these infantry sets will be loading up a bow-type weapon and will fire at the descending, card-wielding fire Empress Knight at present. Give me 1 second. There it is. 23.
Hit, and I will use
That's 6
A-
piercing.
uncanny dodge to reduce that.
How do you want to uncanny dodge in midair? Tell me how you change your direction midair. What's the...
I don't. My body as if their body is made out of cards. The wound is... It passes through me and
Okay.
reforms.
So
I am made out of cards. That is my shell.
as an entire, like, platoon of these monsters morph their arms into bow-like weapons, sinew of muscle joining, their fingers form into long spines that snap off as they pull it back on the bowstring. A swarm of arrows approaches you, at which point you convert into this swirling vortex of like cards and smaller objects. Most of the arrows go passing through before you reform back on the ground, pretty much mostly intact, having passed through the shower of ranged attacks. And now I'll ask you guys as a group, what are you doing? What do you want to do? Is you've established your ground point, and where do you want to go from here?
I would try to look for the closest path to the structure. Likely, and try to like move in that direction. My full 30 feet, clearing the way as I can. If I notice anyone getting close to me for melee range, I am swapping into melee.
Yeah, so between you and where you're heading is that like phalanx of infantry, so you would eventually collide with them. So if you want to make some attacks to try and help clear the way, a path through them, go ahead.
I do, I will, however, need to re-trigger my macro. So that's ranged. First one is going to. You know what? As we land, I am going to trigger another one of my runes, and I suddenly grow a little bit.
Yep.
I am triggering my Giant Smite, which grants one of my attacks an additional 1d8, the first one that hits anyway.
Yeah, as you increase in size, and so too does your weaponry, I believe.
Yes, Giant Smite. I'm gonna swap this one to Lightning just to see what it does. That one is also... No, I can't code in Poison this turn, but...
18 most certainly hits. Lightning doesn't seem to do anything special to them, although it does arc through the formation, allowing you to like cleave through a big group with them with a single strike. You haven't quite finished off one of the groups, but you do quite a bit of damage.
Okay, that's then second. I'm gonna fire... This is one is piercing.
Hits. And another 8 damage finishes off that one group. Still 3 more between you and the opening, but you've got rid of one section.
And lastly, once again, Radiant, but I assume it also doesn't do anything.
Nothing special in this case. As your blade lights up, you do cleave through them. You notice that the flying creatures above you do seem to... As they like swarm and move like starlings, like mermations, and the light from your weapon shines out, they shy away from that above you. So these like winged creatures seem to not like that weapon that you just wielded there.
Okay. Those were all ranged attacks, by the way. The melee form is called Slasher.
Gotcha. So that was firing as you were approaching them, essentially.
Yes. And that was my bonus action, and you need your bonus action to shift weaponry, so I'm sticking with that for now.
Okay. In which case, anyone else, as you do see Renedia sort of like sprinting towards the formation, does blow up a cluster of them, damage another.
I will be calmly walking and attacking anything that comes within 5 feet of any of my teammates.
Essentially trying to cover for them. There would be a Ravager swarm kind of approaching quickly, so are you targeting that?
Yes.
Yeah, go for it.
2 attacks.
Yep.
Both of them with the marksman features. First attack. 14.
14 most certainly hits.
Alright.
23, and that's with the fire damage on top as well, right?
Yes.
Single card flies perfectly into the center of the Ravagers, detonates in flame, burns them all up instantly. Who do you want to hand the teamwork point to?
I will hand a teamwork point to Runidia.
Okay. You have another attack. Should you wish to, you can either target the formation between you and where you're heading, or try and pick off more of these Ravagers that are sort of swarming around.
Pick off more of them swarming around.
Yeah, go for it. A critical's gonna hit.
Oh god, this is gonna do so much damage.
Another 24 points is enough to finish off another group, and another...
that is adding 7 points of damage because I did not set this up with how we did crit damage.
Absolutely, so another 7 on top of that. It's more than enough anyway, and another teamwork point as another whole swarm of Ravagers that could have overwhelmed your team instantly evaporates into ashes. Who do you want to hand it to?
I'll hand that to the Divine Might.
Okay.
Divine Right.
Divine Right. And there are 2 more left in the group that haven't done actions, right? The Divine Right and Progress.
I think if we're all going to be heading to our objective, I think I'll be covering the rear, as it were.
Okay, so any Ravagers that are running up on the back half of the group you want to deal with, is that the...
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and give me some attacks as they run up towards the group. Absolutely hits. 11 damage, takes out about half the swarm in a single hit, and a 14 hits as well. 7 barely doesn't manage to finish off the swarm in front of you, but you do still have 1 more attack. Absolutely, that hits. And another 9 is enough as one more swarm falls to a series of heavy swings from your hammer, smashing through armor and sinew.
Incredible.
Uh,
Just following behind with the rest of the group, just like backpedaling.
Perfect. March of progress. It is over to you.
Okay. What have we got left? Just like a couple more swarms.
There are some swarms around, but most of them have been picked off by your allies. It's the infantry formation between you and the opening that's sort of the major obstacle at this point.
They're like a bunch of things just kind of phalanx together.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, very clustered up, shoulder to shoulder, long spears out.
Okay. I guess it is time for me to throw this alchemist fire I've been hoarding.
Yeah, go for it.
I don't remember what the damage on alchemist's fire is though.
I think it sets things alight for like a d4 every turn, but I would say it would apply to every single member of the phalanx. So that probably would wipe out one of the groups at the start of like when they would want to act. So if you, is it a reflex save on them or a dexterity saving throw for them basically?
Let me double check. Alchemist's fire. It just says you can throw it as a splash weapon.
Oh yeah, then go ahead and give me an attack roll, as if you were proficient with it. I think throwing is strength based, but dexterity I would allow as well. So either strength or dex.
No, it's okay. I'm a throwing build, so
Okay.
I'll just like roll my
Normal weapon attack basically.
yeah, my normal weapon has all the bonuses that I would get anyway.
Ooh, that's not got an attack roll attached to it. Isn't that interesting?
How do you? This is so new.
Yeah.
Ah,
25.
okay, I found it.
25 absolutely hits.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
one of these clusters is ablaze, and that one with the red dot will just burn up when it goes to act, basically.
Cool. I will spend my other 2 actions actually firing my weapon.
Yeah, yeah. You've got one weakened cluster and one intact cluster.
Let's go for the weakened one.
Yeah, go for it.
My weapon is basically a needle launcher,
Just firing salvos of needles into the
just
cluster.
where lethal injection has come from.
Yeah, go for it. That absolutely hits.
1 and 2.
Yeah, both of those hit.
Lovely.
Thunder damage rips through the group. That first hit almost takes them out, but they are barely stood a few members of the phalanx remaining.
And then the second one is 15.
15 damage is enough to finish it off as thunderous needles impact down, detonating, bursting, sending limbs and other pieces flying off as the force rips through the formation. In the meantime, the other cluster, covered in oil, at this point, contact ignites with the air, and as they try and push it off of their bodies, it just spreads the flame around, eventually burning them up into ash. Runedia, I think you were at the head of the general formation that was moving forward. So the one group that is alive will attack you with a pike formation. 23 and 9.
The first one would hit, however, I would like... Actually, I'm gonna let that one hit.
4 damage piercing does go through. As, yeah, the cluster of spears, some of these bone spears kind of break off on the force of your shell. A few things do manage to, like, diminish it a little bit, but otherwise you are doing okay. At this point, I'm gonna roll to see whether the Ambaric Arc Launcher comes back online. It does not. So there will be a burst of flame up in the air as a section of Shrike are burned out by canister flame weapons. And 2 more shots. One shot finishes... the 2 shots finish off the remaining phalanx in your path. as the Fractal 2 is circling around this big tower, dealing with the air things and basically giving you as much support as it can, firing on the formations between you. It is now an open path between you and the entrance to the large fortification, this ancient fort of Zemesia. Are you heading straight for it, or what's the plan as the group moves closer?
Question for clearing up. Wasn't that one blocked, and that was the reason why the March of Progress summoned a bottle of acid?
Yeah, it is something that could be squeezed through, but it would be very uncomfortable and tight, but I believe that an acid vial was summoned to help clear it.
That's my plan,
Okay.
at least.
In that case, Rundia would position nearby. I believe I have noticed the vial of acid in the hand of my teammate, and I essentially just make sure, like bringing up the rear, that we don't get attacked from behind, or that they have more time to work with in order to clear this.
Okay. Covering them as they approach with the acid vial in hand.
Pretty much. So I'm taking pot shots if that's necessary. Otherwise,
There is one more Ravager cluster that's kind of cresting over the hill, so you can take a shot at that if you wish.
Sure, we'll do so. Ranged macro again. So that is with giant might. That's I'm just gonna give that one a lightning.
Hits 8 damage, isn't enough to finish it off, but does deal quite significant damage to the group.
Okay, in that case, I mean I have more of those. Lightning.
That would hit, but you got the crit damage on top. Unfortunately... Oh wait, hang on, it would just be maximum, right? So it'd just be another 8. So yeah, no, that does finish off that cluster, leaving the area pretty much enemy-free. There are still some, obviously, running across the battlefield towards you, but in a general sense, there's nothing an immediate threat.
If there's anything flying, you mentioned earlier that whatever flying creature surrounds us shrieked out in surprise at
Yeah.
one of my earlier attacks. That was at lightning, correct?
Radiant, I believe.
Radiant. Okay, in that case, I'm taking just a pot shot at them because flying creatures tend to be fast.
Yeah, go on.
That's even ranged.
Yeah, I mean, there's a huge swarm of them overhead, so you can take a shot into the cloud. Go for it.
No giant smite, radiant, 19.
Hits, and 13 is the swarm's health as a line of radiant damage bursts through, clearing out a path to this like cloudy sky above. Who do you want to hand a teamwork point to?
The March of Progress.
March of Progress.
You have 2 now.
Ooh.
Bringing us March of Progress. You have the acid vial. Are you using it on the opening?
That's the plan.
Is this something like you load into your launcher, or are you like just throwing the vial? What's the...
I'm just gonna throw this one.
Yeah, taking a hand, getting closer, throwing the vial forward. It impacts on the grey, miasmic, metallic growth, sizzles and burns. Surprisingly resilient material, but it does eventually burn open a more comfortable space for you guys to move into. Anyone else want to do anything as that space is opened up? Whether they're heading in or anything else?
I mean, I'm just gonna go in. I don't want to stay here.
Yeah, heading in.
I mean, same. I would, however, watch if anyone else like tries to like cover our rear, and like if anything really nearby approaches, shoot that before rushing further in. And so on.
Yeah. So you're firing and moving in kind of backwards to watch over the others, and the other two. How are you handling this?
Same deal.
I'll cover. Well, I'll just be the last one in. I'll just say that.
Okay. So the three of you basically turn and fighting retreat into the tower. As you do so, got it back. The crowd of Ravagers, as they are swarming, gathering up to get in through this small group, you hear the roar of directional engines as the Fractal 2 tilts 180 degrees to point straight down. There is a brief moment of silence, and then the burst as lightning strikes the ground. It arcs out in every direction and fries a huge cluster of them as lightning bounces between them, essentially covering you from the swarm that was gathering. And at this point, you hear the engines as it rockets off, pursued by the Leviathan and other Shrikes chasing the airship away from where you are. You find yourself in an ancient structure that has been overtaken by the miasmic waste. It is a building so old that it was not constructed. No mortal hands were involved in the construction of the fortress. Instead, this stonework, this defensive fortification you find yourself in, was conjured by the goddess some untold amount of time ago. A bastion to protect against an ancient evil that knew only how to destroy. It was for a time a safe haven as the miasma grew. There are signs of habitation. It's like the ancient conjured stonework, and then on top of that, the artwork of a people that lived here for a time, perhaps years, living within the halls of this structure, as it was the only safe place they could go to. They didn't know of the Empress City, or perhaps Empress City wasn't even formed yet. You can see why an archaeologist might be drawn to such a location. And then over the top of this artwork, these paintings on walls, a thin layer of metallic sheen miasma grown into hive-like ridges and hidey places. The signs that these miasmic monsters have been here for quite some time. You are looking into a labyrinth of hallways before you. There are a myriad of directions you could go, including up and down as far as you can tell. How do you want to try and orient yourself within this structure? And of course there is the occasional pursuit of a miasmic monster within the tunnels, but at this point they are lone, they are forced down specific channels. It is nothing that you cannot deal with as a group with little strikes and skirmishes. The question is how you want to investigate and move.
I would like to read any signs of language or runes, markings of the past. Indulge my scholarly curiosities.
Give me an investigation check. 24. As you read through two different layers of history, the deeper layer speaks of the goddess, the bounty she brought to this land. It speaks of verdant farmland that you couldn't even begin to imagine in a space like this. But at one point, all around this tower was orchards and irrigated farms, and the lands were blessed. They grew plenty. This place was known for its produce, for its markets and its delicacies. On top of that, there is bitterness. There are messages from people scratched into the surface, painted here, that speak to why would the people here before be allowed such peace and such tranquility, only for them to be abandoned to this fate, this miasma, these monsters. There is an argument on these walls between those who believe what the goddess did was cowardice and what the goddess did was a gift that she has passed on the torch to humanity.
I do my best to sort of convey this to the rest of the squad. Very absent-minded, talking aloud as if lecturing, like a professor.
I mean, that's nice, but that's not going to. That's not going to find our professor. Does any of this look? Do any of the pathways look traversed recently? Are there any hintings, like I don't know, thrown away food wrappers or some shit?
Give me a survival check.
Survive. You sure I can't make this investigation?
I'll allow investigation. It will be a slightly different amount, like set of information I give you, but yeah, investigation.
Now, where do I need to press to on this to?
An
How
excellent.
do I make an
question.
investigation check?
I'm afraid I don't
Okay,
know.
I'm just gonna 1d20 plus 9.
It seems the field test of these new sheets has come up quite conclusively that we prefer the old ones. I don't think anyone said anything towards that. Unfortunately, you don't see the signs of human life here, Renedia. You're hoping that maybe there might be some sign that the archaeologists camped here or something like that, but you just don't see it. What you see instead is that the miasmic monsters have made this place their home. You do see bodies of miasmic monsters from other wounds that looks like something else fought here as well. As you take a look around for signs of human life, what you find is a miasmic infantry. The shell around the creature has been carved into something sharp, something hot, something that's charred the body, and the weapon has penetrated straight through the shell all the way into the core, and it looks like it burnt out the inside, like a pulse of what you would only describe as divinity went through this. Something divine struck the neck of this creature and burned it to the core.
And that looks recent-ish?
It's hard for you to tell because the miasmic monsters, they don't waste away like other things. They normally just flake away. And this is a inconsistent process. Sometimes it can be instantaneous and other times it can take months. So it is anywhere between just happened and happened a month ago, unfortunately, is the room that you've got here, Renedia.
Okay, but it's pretty much the only sign of activity we have right now.
Beyond the signs that you are creating at present, yes.
Yeah. I'm not seeing much. There's the corpse over there. Somebody with some radiant capacity. Any of you coming up with anything?
I'll go check out the corpse.
Yeah. Is it a medicine check? You're sort of like examining the wound, or is it something else?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Go for
I'm
it.
gonna go for medicine. 28.
This was an attack by something tall. The attack was angled from above. It was a single straight thrust. You can tell it was a broad weapon. At a guess, this was a sword. A sword wreathed in divine flame, perhaps. But no modern weapon. This is an ancient weapon. Something from perhaps even before the era of grief, before the Crusades. Most divine flame blades were created during the Great Crusades. You think this is from before that. This is a much broader, heavier weapon than you've ever seen a wound from, really.
Well, nothing from this era.
Older?
Way older.
Oh, exciting.
Sounds like where an archaeologist might be. Still, unless anyone has any inclinations towards anything different, I'd say this is still our best bet in that direction. Maybe we can see more corpses.
I can
Never
scout
thought
ahead.
we'd be so excited to see corpses.
Not excited, just looking for hints.
You're following heading in the direction of where, like, the corpses from where you entered and seeing if you can find more signs of this activity? Is that the goal?
Sounds like the plan.
Okay.
Yeah, it is my suggestion. Unless anybody else has like features or capabilities they can get out.
I could scout ahead. If you so wish.
I mean, we can do. However, on the scouting front, I can lend backup support. I am somewhat of the stealthy persuasion myself as well.
That won't necessarily be required.
Right?
Did we have a direction that these bodies were moving in?
Yeah, so as you came through the opening, it was pretty much dead ahead of you. So you've got like corridors that go off to the left and right. You can see staircases that head up and down. But the body's on the same floor as you, heading more towards the core of the tower.
Okay. I'm going to... Crimson Inquisitor is going to use one of their wild shape charges. And they are going to turn into a swarm of chittering bats that fly off.
Castlevania ass.
Yes!
Yeah. Do you pull a card out for that? Like, do you like shuffle through the deck to pull a card out, or is there any other? Yeah.
Very, very fanciful Gambit-esque motion, and they pull up a card, flip it around, and it's like the 10 of spades, but all the spades are little bats, and they just become a swirling swarm of wings and noise.
As the bats leave the card, the rest of your form is left behind. And then the bats are going to head into the tower deeper to sort of scout ahead. Is that the...
Yes. So while wild shaped, I can use their senses, but also my stats. So like I can use their blind sight.
Yeah.
And my perception.
Give me a perception check at advantage.
Ooh, I think I figured out how to do this now. I can hit advantage at the top.
34.
That is just a nat 20.
Oh, okay. That does somewhat help as well, I suppose. But still, on a 34, you survey the building as a kind of like a swarm of sonar drones. This swarm of bats that checks through the corridors, splits apart, rejoins back together. You become aware that something has excavated the center of the tower down into a deep pit, a deep spike that goes very far below the surface. It's not been done by machinery or something like that. You think the miasmic have been digging here for something. The archaeologists were not the only ones searching for something in this area. In terms of finding what you're looking for, the upper floors of the tower seem to be nests for the Shrike and other winged forms of miasmic monsters. Down seems to be the indication that you're coming to at this point as you're searching around.
Reforming, probably behind one of the unsuspecting Eldritch Knights. Solus starts. The plot thickens. There is a massive tunnel downwards, not excavated by steel, but by miasmic. They're searching for something important. The upper floors are more nests, and tunnels for these creatures to brood in. I believe downwards is our only option.
Great, hate that.
What?
I believe that was a great hate that.
Yeah.
Not have a
Hate it
choice.
so
archaeology.
much.
Discover
I have a-
secrets long lost.
I also have a persuasion to not be swarmed to death by chitinous monsters. Going into their tunnels directly violates what I think is a good way to avoid being swarmed to death by chitinous monsters. I feel like you can see where I'm going.
Yes, but counterpoint, we are murder machines.
Counterpoint, you're a murder machine.
Okay.
Why, thank you.
We do not have much time. We can go down there. If if it calms you down in any capacity, March, you can't have this rune. It'll grant you a defense and should be enough to get us out of here.
Oh, I mean, I'm not actually that concerned. I'm just expressing my distaste for having to climb into there.
Understandable, but like we do not have much time. If it becomes too risky, we can just exfiltrate. However, I believe the clock is ticking. Off we go.
Alright. What do you want to do? There's two real paths down. You can follow the ancient structural stairways, which will eventually join to some tunnels that will connect you to the pit that has been dug. Or you can head to the edge of the upper area of the pit and then see if there's a way down that the miasmic have left behind. Presumably there must be some way of them getting up and down, but many of them are winged, so there's no guarantee, unless someone has some way of granting flight or otherwise to the group. That's the other side of that, I suppose.
So there's the first pathway is... So the second is to the upper end of the pit?
So the structure itself also goes down a bit, so there are stairs that lead you some of the way, and then there are ancient tunnels that join into the pit like midway down, so it will get you some distance down already. Or you can head on your floor to where the pit was begun to be dug and see if there's a way down that the miasmic have left, or if you have some other method of dropping down that is also available to you.
I'll admit I do not have a landing strategy for that high of a drop. Unless any of you have one, I'd suggest we take the way down that is already constructed.
Yeah, I don't think we have much choice in that regard.
Okay. Who is taking up the vanguard as you head deeper? As they are one-person wide corridors, this was a fortress designed for siege defense.
I honestly nominate the divine right for this one, simply because the divine right looks like they might actually want to prefer squashing heads in.
That's right.
All right, you're at the front. Do you want to give me a perception check or a survival check? Either one's fine.
I can give perception.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh.
You lead the way down, following straight stairways that sort of wrap back on themselves, going down in a zigzagging motion deeper into the world. You had 30 minutes. It takes you about 3 from when you entered to heading down this staircase. There are 27 minutes left before the airship circles back. You know that you need to get to the canyons as well, which is a few minutes from the tower. So you are, like, in total, in terms of getting back, you're like 10 minutes through your 30-minute time limit, all told, right? You begin to see signs of more complex miasmic activity. Divine right, give me either like an arcana or a history check. Either one's fine by me.
Oh shit.
There are a series of different tracks in front of you. You recognize like claw markings, there are pad prints, like different dangerous predator animals, wolves, lions, tigers, bears, all of that seem to be in front of you. You also see the scratch marks of talons, as if every predator that has ever plagued mankind in the earliest days of its existence has trekked through this corridor.
I see.
And that seems to be the path ahead to where you're going. You can see the tracks stretch out all the way into the distance as to where you would like to be.
You say how fresh the tracks were?
It's not that they're fresh, but that they're carved into stonework. It's that they've been trodden so many times that it has left its mark on the flesh of stone itself here.
Ah, okay. Well, let's keep going.
Sam,
Yes.
I have a particular penchant for arcane knowledge. Do any of the claw marks stick out to me, or would any of this hint to me towards a specific type of miasmic monster?
Give me another Arcana check.
Okay. This would be at advantage due to one of my runes. I will eventually keep in mind which one that was. Second roll.
17? 14?
17.
Give me a wisdom saving throw as well.
Wisdom saving throw.
Please and thank you.
I think this is this.
18.
Yes, 18.
As you focus on the tracks, as pointed out by the vanguard of your group, as you look down, it is not the multiple tracks that catch your attention. It is the fact that you see things differently to them. For you, there is a slithering marking on the ground, like something sidewound its way through the corridor, something more serpentine than that. You can see how someone might come to the conclusion that it was claw and otherwise. And then your mind is cast to a creature known as Amorphic. This is a miasmic monster that gets into the primal fear of an individual and takes on a form that is best suited for hunting them. So it essentially takes on the form of like the wolf that would stalk your ancestor by the fireside, or the bear that brought another like line of your blood to death. Like it takes its form from some ancestral memory inside your psyche. That's what you're seeing.
Okay. I relay this knowledge to the group and openly share that essentially my fear is just a swarm of somewhat burn-off monsters, as that would likely have been the kind of fear that killed one of Rundia's colleagues. Essentially like a memory of, I don't know, his runes failing at one point and it costing a colleague's life. Just to give the others a heads up.
As you share your story,
And what might expect us.
Divine Right, you see large red claws come from around a corner, pull its head around. You see a werewolf-like creature, sanguinous and dripping. The skeleton within itself shows through thin, stretched red skin. It does seem to be not approaching you, but watching you as you get closer through the corridor. Kind of sniffs at the air, taking measure of you as you're approaching.
I mean, this looks like a miasmic monster, right?
It most certainly is, yeah.
Would we have any reason to not immediately go into murder mode?
I guess the question is, well, I mean, no, yes, maybe. I think that's up to you more than anything.
Okay. Any of my party members planning anything here?
Suddenly seeing that, I'm in murder mode.
Yeah. What do you want to do? How do you want to attack it?
Well, I suppose I'm in the I will murder it if it tries to murder me mode.
Okay. At present, it it seems to be waiting for more of an opening. It seems to understand, you think, at present, if it were to launch itself at you, it would be slain. So now is not the time. It is just observing.
And it is within what kind of range?
60 feet or so down the end of the corridor, moving backwards with the group, kind of ducking around different corners and things to keep an eye on you, but never getting closer.
I don't feel like it makes sense to have that kind of predator on our back. We're rushing through this anyway. It's not like we're walking. We are jogging at the very least. I think I might just take pot shots in order to like get it to scare away.
Yeah, take a shot.
Ranged macro. Without giant might, I'm gonna make this radiant.
Absolutely hits. Impacts into it. A section of it blows away into a blood splatter pattern, and then rejoins its body. It is diminished, but it does seem to be fairly sturdy in terms of its ability to take a punishment.
Mm-hmm.
You have
I
more
mean, we're
attacks.
still
You have more
jogging
attacks if
forward,
you
I
want to.
assume.
Yeah. It's
Does it look like it's going to rush away?
no. It
At that-
seems to. It picks up the thing you launched at it and studies it quietly.
Oh, okay. In that case, immediately 2 shots more following the first one coated with poison.
Mm-hmm.
Lightning.
Hits for another 8. Lightning courses through.
Please make a DC 14 con save.
DC 14 Constitution saving throw. 13.
You take another 2d8 poison damage, and you are poisoned.
5 poison damage, and it is poisoned as well as green joins red within its system.
And it reacted neither to radiant, nor lightning, nor poison.
Not in a extreme fashion.
In that case, normal piercing now.
Hits for another 6. At this point, having taken several shots from you, its jaw unhinges and opens up. You watch as its insides unfold into outsides. Long tendrils, proboscis, erupts from its mouth and comes rushing towards you guys. I need a dexterity saving throw from our Vanguard, please.
That would be...
That would be you.
Me? Alright, so... Dexterity saving throw?
Yeah. 15. You just about manage to back away enough as the pseudopods reach out. A acidic mixture comes pouring out of the ends of them. You do take... Oh, that did not roll correctly at all. You don't take 76. You take 19 halved to 9 damage. And you are not pulled in closer as it snatches at the stonework and other things and drags it back towards itself. Now scared off by the assault, it books it down another set of side tunnels and moves as quickly away as possible, having been shooed away by the fire of your runes.
I wouldn't say that was a 1d 410. It could have been worse.
Yeah,
it could have been worse.
Could have been much worse.
I was about to say, like, I could probably still survive that.
It's hilariously, yeah, you could have. But your path is cleared again. The creature that had been observing you has been warded off by the attacks, having returned some aggression towards you. It has ran away, just pressing deeper.
Might as well.
Okay. Eventually, the worked stone tunnel exits into a huge penetrating pit that goes down a deep cone into the earth itself. Looking around, you can see pathways down. There are hibernating miasmic monsters sort of embedded into the walls. Their bodies are beginning to convert into that resin-like coating. The slumbering of the creatures will slowly encase this space in a protective barrier, like you've seen on the outside of the structure, like you've seen on some of the corridors inside. They will slowly turn themselves into the structure that will be here at some point in the future. There are ways down that you can see, little pathways and otherwise, and much deeper down you can see a soft gold tinged glow from like deep down in the darkness of this pit. There is something giving off a consistent and soft radiating light.
Okay. So we've walked down enough that we are now at the like halfway point-ish where it conjoins with the pit, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. And at the bottom of the pit we see like a soft-ish glow, and are there any obvious paths for us down?
There are a few obvious paths. It's sort of splinters and spider webs with different walkways down. None of them seem obstructed in any way. There are miasmic monsters here, but they do appear to be hibernating in this form of attempting to build a structure. There's nothing barring your path.
When you say various miasmic monsters hibernating in order to form a structure, like what order of magnitude miasmic monsters? Like the odd one here or there, or is there like hundreds?
It's a lot. I wouldn't say it's hundreds, but they embed themselves into the earthenworks of the pit and essentially are formed into pods. A sheen of metal over them that's kind of faintly translucent. Maybe there's 100 all told that you can see looking both up and down. They're at a pretty regular interval around the walls, as if deliberately placed by an intelligent mind.
Okay. Do any of you see an obvious way? See anything obvious? I'd take like a solid 30 seconds or so to see if there's any of the pathways that seem more advantageous to me, while giving my teammates the opportunity to see themselves if they find anything.
I would like to give it a go and trying to find either the best option or anything else that they might have missed.
Okay, give me a perception check.
Can I help you with that?
Yeah, you give advantage on the perception check. So that's a 22. As you look around together, a couple of things stand out to you, Solus. You can see there is a pathway where you can slide down. This is be the quickest way down. It's like a fairly even ramp. You don't think that was the intent of it, but because of the way the structure is built, this sort of like cone down, there is a way that you can almost like, yeah, just slide down a good section without picking up too much speed. Alternatively, there are some pathways that have like it goes down a bit and there are platforms, as if it was almost like their attempts at digging a set of stairs. It doesn't have the actual footsteps, like steps in it, but it does do like little ramp platform, which is a bit more like staged, right? You could head down and stop and head down and stop as you went. All of it seems to head towards this glow at the bottom. One other thing you notice as the cone has dug down, it looks like it's hit other little smaller chambers underneath the structure that were either added in ancient times or perhaps were conjured in secret by the goddess. But there are little vault chambers and things that have been pushed through by the miasmic's digging that have revealed little hidden secrets from the past here and there as well.
I will relay all of this information to the group.
Any preference as for the way down? I just ask for at the general group.
Whatever gets us in and out the fastest.
Sliding it is.
I fear so. As we slide, could we slide in some kind of manner that gives us insight into some of the more reachable vault chambers for us? Essentially, like if there is anything of interest in one of them that we can reach, I'd love to be able to take that path. Because maybe there's a side worth.
There are 4 chambers of interest. I would say the sliding path goes past 2. You've got one on the left and one on the right. If you wanted to take a look at them as you were sliding down, it would be a perception check, but it would be at disadvantage because obviously you're moving consistently. It's not the best way to like observe something. But if you wanted to give me a perception check at disadvantage for either one of those, you absolutely could.
I don't think I can. I think I'd be too focused on getting the path down right.
Okay.
I'm also not the most perceptive of people. But if anybody else wants to, you have the option.
Yeah, I'll have a look as we're sliding.
Yeah, you want to give me a perception check at disadvantage as you're heading down.
Oh, it doesn't automatically disadvantage.
21.
21 is the lower.
Okay. As you're making your way down, you get a good sight on the one on the left, because it sort of was more into the chamber before the miasmic dug into it, so you can sort of see through the roof, which was then broken through. It looks like a hidden away little workshop. There's a stone table that almost looks like it was grown out of stone in there. Any furniture has long since wasted away, but you recognize the remains of the metallic parts of some tools. And what catches your eye more than anything in this moment is there are soft lights coming off of some of you. You've got either like the glow of Runedia's runes or otherwise some other methods of seeing at least a little bit of distance. The glow of flame from the cards as well that one of your companions keeps either like clipped to a belt or otherwise in hand. That catches the light of an ornate box. The box appears to be made of wood and inlaid with like a golden decoration that catches the glint. And it's the fact that it's perfectly preserved, just completely intact in here, untouched by the miasma, untouched by time, nestled away down here for you have no idea how long, but there it sits on the stone table, probably having been there in that position, dust gathered around it for thousands of years.
Fair enough, I suppose.
You just sliding on past, or is there anything else you want to do?
Maybe we're lucky enough to have time for it on the way out.
Okay.
We're more focused on our goals. Let me find out. Yeah, okay, I'll mention it.
immediately start swerving that way.
I mean, it is a secondary directive to recover Zymesian artifacts. So, makes sense.
You split off from the group. The rest of the group continues on their path down as you jump off to one side. I don't know if anyone wants to try and deliberately slow themselves and wait up for your ally, or whether you're heading down towards what you hope is your objective still.
Given this is all dangerous, I'd slow myself down just to make sure that he's not getting ambushed by something, and that I can give cover fire if necessary.
Okay. You slow yourself as much as you can. You're still sort of descending, but you dig in a little bit to help slow the slide as you're heading down. I assume the other two, you're continuing on at pace?
Yeah, I'll continue to the destination, and then we'll see what we're working with.
The march of progress slows for nothing. Alright.
The slide of progress.
The steady descent into the pit of progress.
The march of progress is a slippery slope.
The rain-slicked precipice of progress.
Perfect. Arriving in this chamber, you see the doorway into this space is stone. You think it was designed like a secret door, something from a novel or some ancient, text where it's been enchanted. From your side, you can see the seams, but from the other side, it would look like no more than any other patch of stonework within the fortress's bowels. This was a quiet place, somewhere someone wanted to slip away and work on something private, personal, or perhaps where something valuable was stored. Valuable it is now, no matter what, because it is so old by the very merit of its existence and the fact that it has survived here. It has gained such value that it has pulled you from your course down this pathway and into this room. It is a small box, perhaps big enough for like a single shoe to fit in there, something like that. It's wooden. It's not overly beautifully carved or anything, but the inlay of gold is nice, and it's sort of woven through the woodwork quite well. There are works of art that exist today that far outstrip the design on this box, but the miracle of its existence, the fact that it's preserved, the fact that miasma have not destroyed it even by accident, here it sits in front of you. What do you want to do?
First checking for like traps.
Yeah. Give me an investigation check.
But it's not an advantage.
16. Looking around, you don't see any of obvious signs of like a pressure plate or a mechanism. Perhaps if there are traps, they are not here. They are outside the door. Perhaps this is too far in. After all, who would want a workshop where every time you scooted your chair backwards, poisonous gas flooded into the room and poison darts filled your legs as you attempted to whittle something? Far too annoying to keep in this space, you would think, Solace.
I would like to take the box. Not opening it, just taking it.
You lift the box. It has some heft, slightly more heft than you were expecting, and as you lift it, the angle of momentum of you picking it up, you hear a soft clack, something knocking against something inside, as something perhaps spherical or otherwise cylindrical rolls inside and taps against the inside of the woodwork. Something is loose in there.
Does this chest have a latch? Or if I'm in combat later, is this gonna, open?
It has no locking mechanism. It does have 2 hinges on the back. You think that it might have a class that's designed to resist up to a certain amount of force, but once the right amount of force is pressed, it will just come open. It is possible it could come open in combat, especially if it was flying around with some velocity, especially the velocities in which a Empress Knight can reach, jumping and leaping and otherwise engaging in combat.
Would I perhaps have any tools with which to secure this or jury rig, straps around it?
I would think that you would have various objects on you designed to retrieve or otherwise preserve artifacts. So if you wish to strap it down and secure it on your person, you most certainly could.
I would like to do that.
Okay. You wrap it, strap it closed, and sequester it away safely on yourself.
It's a mystery box for later. I will try and leave and rejoin the others.
You leave without issue, rejoin your companions, and Runedia and yourself begin to slide down. But we cut to those who did not slow to retrieve this interesting little box, this little knick-knack of ancient Zemesia. No. Instead, those of you, the two of you, who have gone much deeper, find yourself at the bottom of the pit. In the center is a tall figure encased in golden crystal, giving a soft glow from within. You recognize from the silhouette of the individual the sign of shoulder-mounted wings. You see the stature of an angel, but over the top of these things, the sharp spike, the corruption of the miasma. This being encased in crystal in the center of this cavern was once something divine and beautiful, but it isn't anymore. Right now, it is a slumbering miasmic monster of incredible strength. Against the walls in this lower area, there are individuals chained. They are breathing. Their heads sort of dipped down, hanging. They look like they've been in this position for quite some time. There are 5 of them all told. One of them, you recognize the description of, as it was the only person you were given a description for, which was the head archaeologist. The others, you don't really recognize, but perhaps were other archaeologists, mercenaries hired to protect them or otherwise. What also stands out to you is that there are the remains of humans here. There are piles of viscera and skeletal remains all around the central crystal. So you've got your central crystal with your angelic corrupted figure. You've got the remains of humans, viscera, meat, blood, piled up around that crystal. And then chained to the walls is your objective and some other individuals that were supporting her. What do the two of you want to do?
How do they look? Like, they've been here for a while. Are they, like, emaciated, or... They're still breathing.
Yeah, give me a medicine check.
Where is my medicines? Down here. Oh, this query thing's fancy. 29.
29. They're not emaciated. There's signs around the lips that, like, they're a little cracked. They haven't been drinking as much as they should. But for the amount of time that they've been down here, it seems like the miasmic have been keeping them alive. They have been fed. They have been watered as much as could be possible, you presume. Otherwise, they would have died of dehydration, not just been slightly dehydrated. These individuals have been kept alive for whatever purpose.
I'm going to approach our Mark then.
Okay.
And see if I can get her attention.
Getting close to Yana, she's short, dark hair, wearing like overcoat that is obviously tattered. Fingernails are broken and ragged. There's some sign of like resistance wounds where they've tried to push things away from them and other things like that. Getting closer, getting their attention. Her eyes flutter open. So too does a larger blonde individual beside him. The other three seem to remain inert, either sleeping or playing dead, not wanting to invite any sort of wrath. Yana looks towards you, blinking her eyes, as if she blinks enough times, you might disappear, trying to clear something from her vision, another unfortunate mirage, but there you remain as she keeps blinking. Yana is not a dude, that is a girl. But she looks at you and seems to say with like dry, cracked tongue, "Are you really here?"
I'm gonna look down and back up. If I'm not, I think we have bigger problems.
There's a mixture of emotions. Her eyes drift to the crystal. First fear, then a sort of distant look in her eyes. They flick back to you, and there is a wash of relief and sadness as tears she does not have the moisture to conjure do not come to the corners of her eyes. But you can see that she wants to cry a tear of relief at seeing you here. She whispers as quietly as she can while still being heard. "We need to be quick. There's no telling when it will be awake again."
I'm gonna go, like, how are they kept on the wall?
It looks like manufactured chain, like someone has genuinely built from like iron or steel or some other metal, like dungeon style restraints.
How is it secured then? Is there like a lock?
It's like nailed into the wall, and then around their wrists, there is like a locking mechanism, like manacles, basically.
I'm gonna kneel down and start having a look to see if it's like pickable.
You would say it looks like there might be a complex formed key, but it is pickable.
Thing is, it's not exactly my area of specialty, and I don't want to bust the lock before someone who may be better gets here. So instead, I will stall momentarily, but asking the thing, what is it, and where is it?
Yana says, whatever it was something that came to help us. But when it got here, it was ambushed by, I don't know, some form of creature, some monster. It dragged it down into this pit, and I don't know what happened after that. It became encased in miasma. The individual to the left, this taller mercenary sort of fellow, Dolvik, says, once it had changed, it began picking apart my men, pulling at their muscles and puppeting them around. It made them dance and say things. It started to play with them like a child learning with dolls or something. When it was done with them, he sort of eyes glance over to the remains that are dotted about the pit. I don't know why we're still here, but it never bothered picking at us. It told us we're here because it needed worshippers.
Well, isn't that charming? Let's see if we can stop this cult happening before it ever really gets off the ground.
At this point, your allies arrive as well.
Please tell me someone knows how to pick a lock.
Aha. As Solus reaches into their coat and produces a set of thieves' tools.
Go ahead and give me a check. Are you starting with Yana, or do you...
Yes.
Okay.
Mission priority.
In that
and all
case,
that.
In that case, Rundia would. He has around his neck 4 runes of different colors that are more socketed into the armor than anything, and he pulls one of them out and just like pushes it into the Crimson Inquisitor into the hands. Just carry this while you're doing it. You now have advantage on sleight of hand checks, which is about the best I can give you. Also,
Thank
wait,
you.
I give you a second one that I'll also push into you. That one is red. That one I would actually like back once you're done.
Would
You
it
now
come
have
as a
also... What?
Would it also come as a surprise that the champion fighter also has proficiency in thieves' tools?
If you guys want to work on 2 different sets of locks at once, you can.
Okay.
Do not have
What
proficiency
does-
is the case. I just have sleight of hand, and I can double proficiency bonus if you have.
I already had double proficiency for it.
So the redstone that doubles proficiency goes to the divine right. So if I can get a thieves tools check from Solace at advantage, and then one from the divine right with their proficiency bonus doubled but not advantage, please.
Thieves' tools just sleight of hand.
Thieves tools would be sleight of hand. It'd be the same for you then, yeah.
Okay.
Fun fact: the feature does not state expertise. It explicitly states double the bonus.
Interesting.
I also have it at expertise.
Oh wow. Okay, so it would be plus another 5 on top of that then. So you both get in the 30s with these. As you
I pull out the thieves' tools. And I just pull out a paperclip, straighten it, and slide it in.
As the 2 of you get closer, you very quickly undo these locks. As they fall open, you notice the way the lock is formed, it's very complicated inside, and the magics that you use assisted you in a manner that you will probably be forever thankful for the rest of your life. As you look around in this moment, you see that this angelic encased fingers' hands, as they're crossed over in front of them, their nails, the long claw, they're actually extrude out into these key-like formations, each finger of this angel ending in this sharp key that fits individually each of these locks. As 2 individuals fall through the locks, both Yana and Dolvik, the other 3 remain chained to the wall. It has been another few minutes. You are 15 minutes into your extraction. You are at the halfway point. There are 3 more individuals chained up, and as you are here, the soft glow of the radiance begins to reveal that above you, coming in from different hidey holes and other spaces, are crawling the Ravagers and other miasmic monsters of the wastes, starting to slowly make their way down the pit towards you all.
Do they already know we're here?
Absolutely they do.
Okay, so we don't have time for subtlety right now. I have an adamantium warhammer, so I can just break the chains.
Okay.
That's gonna wake the big one, though. That would be my
We
concern.
don't have time for subtlety.
Okay. As you express your concern, the adamantine-headed hammer swings into the links between these individuals. Go ahead and give me an attack. I think it's...
No, it's just crit.
yeah, if so when you hit, it crit. So, yeah, just roll damage, I guess, basically. So that would be another 12 on top. That's 18 points of damage. Bam! Slams in. You shatter the chains. The 3 individuals, I think you free 2 of them because you'd break the chains between 2. So, I'll just name them so that you guys are, like, aware of who... So, you freed from left to right Dolvik, Yana, and then Eric and Lana as well. Yana and Lana. I realized that after I named them, but we'll live with it. One person, Oswald, still remains chained to the walls. As to the credit of the concern of your companion, as that hammer blow hits from inside the crystalline casing, one eye begins to slowly open. A red light of this angelic being shines through the crystal that very rapidly increases the glow of it. It is beginning to wake.
Well, it's already awake, so...
You swing it again?
The last
Yeah.
chain.
Go on.
Breaking the last chain.
Bam! You have freed all 5 of them. You can tell that Yana and Dolvik are able to move on their own. The other 3 were deemed less important by the miasmic. They were fed and kept alive, but not nearly to the extent of these 2, Dolvik and Yana. They aren't going to be able to move on their own. They would need to be carried.
Okay, so how many people can I carry with 20 string?
I think you could probably get 2 of them, but obviously that's going to be... Your arms are going to be occupied, right? Like, you're going to have one over each shoulder, basically.
Okay, we're booking it.
Okay, so you grab...
It's fine. I can give you expeditious retreat, which should give you more mobility.
Okay, so you grab Eric and Lana over your shoulders. We'll put them there. Is someone grabbing Oswald?
Yeah, I'll take Oswald.
Okay, you've got Oswald. Dolvik and Yana can move on their own, but if someone wanted to carry them, they could. That would be slightly quicker, obviously.
They would not mind being carried.
They would not mind being carried.
I'll pick up Yana.
Okay.
I can still shoot with like one of my hands occupied, right?
Yeah, unless your weapon is explicitly stated to be two-handed, absolutely you can still shoot.
Okay. In that case, I pick up the remaining one. I don't.
Dolvik, yeah, that's
don't
fine.
know who is carrying who. Eyeball is not fast enough for that.
That's fine.
So Divine Right carries who?
The Divine Right has Eric and Lana. Oswald is in the March of Progress's hands. Yana is being carried by Solus, and you have Dolvik. In this moment, Dolvik points to nearby as he's being picked up and says, my weapon, it's somewhere in that pile. If you can grab it, I can at least cover you as you run.
What are we looking for? Like, what type of weapon?
Rifle, long.
I'm gonna look. Do I see anything immediately?
Yeah, give me a perception check. Yeah, amongst the remains of humans, you do see something metallic sort of jutting out, and what looks to be like a trigger section. You could grab it and pull it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab it and toss it to him.
He catches it, looks at it, checks it, loads it, and nods and says, "Okay, I'm good."
Okay, out.
So, the ramp path that you slid down is no longer good. You will need to move up along the sort of platforms and otherwise, unless you guys have another way of leaving this place. Sounds like
Are we underground?
You are underground, yeah.
Well, there goes blast out through the side.
If you got up to about halfway, you could... No, you'd have to get all the way up to the top before you could try to blast through the building, yeah.
I'm running. Let's go.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you for a good old-fashioned skill challenge. I want you to tell me how you're gonna try and assist in getting out of here. It could be an athletics check for running really quickly, perfectly valid. Investigation for finding a route. It could be using an ability like a spell or otherwise for a success. But if you could take it in turns to tell me how you want to assist in escaping from this tower as quickly as possible, go ahead and do so.
Sam.
Yes.
Can I argue that we ought already have one success in this?
For what reason?
Why? Because I had already stated that I would be casting Expeditious Retreat on the Divine Right. They're super fast right now.
I would agree. I think what I'll do for that is I'll give them advantage on their checks. Because obviously that means that they're keeping speed despite the fact they're being weighed down, essentially. But yeah, I appreciate what you're saying in that regard. But yeah, advantage on anything that Divine Right does.
Advantage on athletics.
Yeah, go for it. That is one success as the Divine Right, with all of the haste of their hammer and personality, carries these two individuals sped up by runic magic, jumping from platform to platform, running up, taking the route that you have already known and you know, find to be as safe as possible, starts running ahead. Anyone else after the one success?
I would like to use investigation to try and find shortcuts or better routes.
Yeah, give me an investigation check. One success. As you are running and, you know, kind of weaving your way through different tunnels, you spot where that miasmic predator was, the morphic one. You can see it went to grab help. You very quickly spy a direction that will take you away from this ambush, narrowly avoiding being sprung upon and attacked during your retreat, possibly saving the lives of one of the individuals you are carrying. You divert the path of the group that way. Anyone else?
I would like to, for those ambushes, I would, like, some of them likely are along one of the shorter routes. I would, for those, if they seem like they save us enough time, I would put down Dolvik for a short amount of time, and with the support of a giant smite trigger that would like make me stronger, I would stealth past. I'd ironically becoming larger and stealthier.
Okay.
Stealth past and try for like ambushes, essentially counter ambushing, like short cuts.
Give me a stealth check.
Okay. That is, yeah, that's a normal check.
23 is a success. As you briefly put Dolvik down, you sprint around an ambush, kind of pop up behind it, a few quick swings of your weapon, a few quick shots. You take out the ambush and free up the quicker path, allowing the group to take it, making your way up further through the structure, almost reaching the level of the building that is like more on the actual ground level, so to speak, sprinting out as quickly as possible. You are at 20 minutes through. You're making good time at this point. I think you've still got the march of progress. What would you like to do?
Yes. I'm gonna try and roll sleight of hand to leave some like alchemist fire behind our route that will get like tripped up when people trample on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and give me a sleight of hand.
Leverage.
Ooh.
Oh god.
You do manage to leave behind the explosives. A few of them go off. You kill groups of Ravagers, which does technically give you a teamwork point you can hand out to someone if you wish.
Aha! I'll give my teamwork point to Solus.
But at this point, despite the fact you destroying these Ravagers following you, you've really kicked the hornet's nest. The thing is starting to wake up. They are coming from all different directions. And as you reach the top of the structure, you see the glow from the pit behind you intensify. Whatever that thing was down there has woken up, and you can feel its pursuit. It is flying up the pit at a steady pace. We've gone through one round of checks, but we have another round to go. Who wants to take the lead this time round? It can be the same order, or it can be any order you wish, but can't be the same check from you twice in a row. You can take a different check that someone else did, though, I will say. So basically, the Divine Right can do any check other than athletics. Same for Solus, anything but investigation.
Where would I be at this point? I think I could just make an acrobatics check.
Yeah, you can make an acrobatics check to sort of like run and sprint through some of the narrower gaps, kind of contracting your body while keeping hold of these people in order to like take shortcuts that you wouldn't normally be able to.
Alright. Fuck.
Hey, you shoulder check a few different building structure parts, trying to get through this space. Does seem to slow you down a little before you have to admit that the miasmic material is just a little bit too dense, a little bit too strong, and split back onto the pathway, costing you a little bit of time. So that's 2 failures, but I think we're at 4 successes as well. Or is it 3? be 1 success, 2 success, 3 success. So 3 success, 2 failure at present. If we're going in the same order, Solace, what do you want to do?
I would like to use perception check to call out miasmic monsters of import for I believe Davik to take aim.
Yeah, Dolvik, but yes. 15 unfortunately fails at this point. You call out the shots, but Dolvik is a little weary, tries his best to support you guys. The rounds do impact into some of the larger miasmic creatures that are around, but some of them shrug it off. We are at 3 successes and 3 failures at this point. Runedia.
Okay, I have 2 avenues. The one is more unlikely, so tell me if it makes no sense. That would be trying to go for Arcana, essentially looking for anything within my arsenal that seems like it could be a realistic way of like slowing down something approaching us that is rather massive.
Like finding a way to quickly carve a rune in the surface, Arcana, to like...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. That could be a decent distraction or something.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Go ahead.
Okay. In that case, this would be... Question. I have a rune that gives me advantage on Arcana. Is that one thing that allows me to make this check at all, or does that give me advantage?
I would say this would give you advantage. No, I think that will give you advantage in this case.
So 2 checks. 21.
21 is a success. You do manage to inscribe runes as you're going that sort of slow the advance and start to give you guys a little bit of distance between you and the horde that is following you at present. So I think that puts you at 4 success, 3 failure, and it brings us to the march of progress on our last check.
You said I could use like spells and features and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
you absolutely can.
One of my feats I took is the quick smithing, and I have quick smithing silence. So I'm going to jury rig my little component to muffle our footsteps and hopefully delay them knowing where we're going.
Yeah, I think in this case, since you are trying to sneak out, I will have this be a success. You very quickly manage to... is it like a device? Like, do you drop a canister, or is this like rune carving as well, or what's the...
It's more of a device.
Okay, so you drop this small device from your pack, something that you very quickly assemble from various pieces of reagents, the very things we saw you prepping in that chamber in the belly of the ship before, all come together in this moment to drop and muffle the distance that you are heading. You slip from the structure. You do not yet see in the distance the Fractal 2. You can see to your south the canyons and the covered space that you were told about. It is a few minutes just dead sprint ahead. You will eventually be pursued by the miasmic, but you have bought yourselves a little bit of time. Are you heading straight into the canyons together as a group? Do you want to spread out slightly? Do you want to take any sort of high ground? Is there anything you want to do as you're running?
If we went into canyons,
if you went into the canyons,
would we be able to gain a bottleneck on our pursuers?
Yes.
Solus votes for that.
Okay. And then you were saying something, Renedia?
I would like to stay within 60 feet of all of my companions, and I need to figure out how long Maelstrom lasts, because I would drop that down to slow anyone behind us if that lasts for longer than a minute.
Being sort of like connecting those 2 dots together, Solus, you talk about creating a bottleneck, and Renedia, you have that maelstrom that you can use. You can definitely head for the canyons and then drop that maelstrom in that very bottleneck as you're going, if you wish.
Check.
Anyone else for anything that they want to keep an eye out for or otherwise do in this moment?
It might be a bit hard to see from here. Like, when we get towards the canyon, is there anywhere we could, like, safely put these injured guys? Like, I'm not so concerned about Yana that she should probably go there as well. Like, just so if we have to fight while we wait for the ship to arrive, we're not fighting with backpackers.
Yeah, there are little like nooks and crannies that you can see, like places where you can put them up against stonework and then have one direction. You know, obviously if something's flying or can crawl over the stone, then that's that. But like, it would protect them from at least one or two directions. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then I also vote for
Okay.
go into the cannon and just hold fire.
And it looks like aid is being cast on Yana. Is that first level, so +5, yeah?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Then I believe it is my job to do the other 3. Because I also have aid. I have spell storing armor with aid.
Yes.
The big difference is my aid is not level 1, it is level 5.
Who are you giving the HP to?
So I guess that's me, Solus, Garvik?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's +25 HP, is that?
Let me try and do
20.
the math.
8 of them
20, I
as well.
think.
20.
Yeah, it's +20.
Thank you. Okay. And no aid has been cast on your injured individuals that you're sort of protecting in the bottleneck, though.
Unfortunately, I don't have that much aid.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure that was the case. That's all.
They're a secondary objective, I'll say it.
Oh no. Perfect. I would say at this point, you are able to. Are you using the maelstrom even though it's a minute, or were you not bothering at that point, Renedia?
A minute does not. Like, at that point, they'll arrive, and by the time the maelstrom will be gone, as far as I can tell. So,
was there something you wanted to do in the absence of the maelstrom then, Solus?
No, I'm just
Okay,
waiting for Miasmics to get into view.
Okay, so once they arrive at the bottleneck, do you basically want to attack them at that bottleneck? Is that the intent that you've got, basically?
Yeah,
Okay.
hold them off until Fractal 2 arrives.
Okay. Heading into... You are using Maelstrom in that area then, Renedia?
yeah, I thought we were just dropping that and rushing away, but if we're essentially waiting for them to
Well,
arrive and then
yeah,
ambushing them that way.
Yeah, that's right. You will be in the ravines for a little bit because the ship will need to arrive, basically. So, yeah, you guys get into these little ravine areas. You become aware as you head in, there are miasmic, like, bursts waiting to happen here. There are pools of miasma here that have formed that are going to sink underground, and then they are going to eventually detonate into the air and cause swarms of miasmic monsters. It's not surprising to you, considering the amount of miasmic monsters in this area. That tends to increase the likelihood, but you can see there are these, like, it's almost like tar pits that are around, but you're able to move around those tar pits and head into a location that is a bit more secured against the outside attacks, securing your objectives within that space. Using the Maelstrom and attacking the Ravagers and other creatures that follow you, you are able to very quickly deal with the mass of the creatures, causing the rest of them to back off, actually. You notice them divert away and leave. You have a moment here, a quiet minute. What do you want to do? Is there anything you want to prepare within this ravine for a minute before things really kick off? And to that credit, give me 1 second. I need to...
How long until...
It's a minute until sort of like you've been given a minute's breath by the fact that you've put down that maelstrom, right? Your enemies have backed off at the moment. It will be another minute still after that until the Fractal 2 is due to arrive back. And this is the environment that you find yourself in.
Okay, I'm triggering a circle of power.
You'll have to remind me what that one does.
That was one of my crystals. Circle of Power is the Pali Aura. Each friendly creature in the area has advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects.
Very cool. So do you want to pop yourself down and I'll give you an aura?
Yeah, 1 second. Made against this succeeds on the saving. Oh, right. And if you succeed, you don't take half damage. You take no damage.
Okay. So evasion for all spells, basically.
Kind of. You don't get the benefit when you fail to save.
Gotcha. And it's a 30-foot aura?
30-foot aura and concentration, which I can now afford because.
Ooh, jeez.
Stuff. Anyway, I have my 4 runes back, so I've all from earlier the runes that I had handed out have been given back to me.
Mm-hmm.
I assume. Okay, good. All 4 of those.
I will be casting Bless at the end of this minute, using spell storing.
Yeah, absolutely. Who are you blessing?
Myself, March of Progress, and the Divine Right.
Okay.
Now, there's got to be a button to tick for Bless, but I don't know where that might be on this bloody sheet.
You have to create it.
Ew, what?
I know. Hey, if we ever use these characters again in another one shot, can we use the old sheet?
Yeah, absolutely. We can migrate them back across. I think our field test as Empress Knights has proved quite conclusively that we prefer the old system. Not March of Progress. Divine Right. I don't think you're on the combat map.
Hold on.
Not a problem.
Let me just.
Okay. And then let me give you a little symbol.
From where are our pursuers coming, and where is our exfiltration point?
Every direction and above.
Well,
Perfect. 1 sec. In that case, I'll be standing here because I believe only Divine Right and myself are more melee focused.
Divine Right.
have
At
a
present,
question.
you're. Sorry, 1 second. Divine Right. At present, you're stood on top of like the rocky outcropping. Are you above that on purpose, or are you like? I know it's a little difficult to read with the yellow glow as well on top of everything.
Being on top of stuff, I feel like it's a little intentional because if something's gonna be coming down, it's easy to just like.
She wants to
Come
draw the
down.
attention.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, absolutely. And then someone had a question for me.
if I use my last wild shape to become another swarm of bats, can I lift one of our hostages that we've rescued up with me, like a throne
Hostages!
of bats?
You can carry someone, I'll say, as a swarm of bats if you wished.
Okay, cool. Just in case some of these mortals need help.
Those of you who are
Hold on.
proficient in perception, please give me a check.
I am. Just as an aside, I didn't quite have time to say it over the thing, but I have what's it called? 4 barrier on my armor, so I'm going to cast Shield of Faith on myself.
Okay, Shield of Faith on yourself as well.
There's my.
Posting this real quick.
27 and 14. March of Progress. You are focused on the sound of creatures coming closer. You can hear from pretty much every direction the sound of the creatures that you fought before. You can hear morphic predators. They are coming from... give me 1 second. So you've got one in the south, one on your left, one on your right. I think there is one stalking over the stonework here, and then there's one at the very top as well. Let me zoom out my map on the right here. On a 27, our Crimson Inquisitor realizes that something is moving around underground, at which point several heads emerge from through like the ground itself and start emerging from tar pits and other locations as these begin to show themselves. In this moment, Crimson Inquisitor, you can give me an Arcana check. Ooh, I don't know if you've got anything you can do to help that, but I think that's a natural one.
I cannot know. Yeah, that's
No?
a nat one.
Unfortunately, if someone wants to work out what these creatures are, they will need to give me a check on their turn. It can be either, I'll say either Arcana or History, but in this moment, you do not recognize them. As things begin to pop up, I think it's time for us to roll initiative.
Let's go.
There is...
The nightmare thingies that I identified earlier, right?
The red ones are. They're the morphic predators, yeah.
Okay. Well, they're both red. I assume the very red ones are.
The very big ones, so the large creatures, you have not identified as of yet. Let me roll some initiative myself. That's one.
So this is what it feels like to have actually high initiative.
It's not normal for you, to be fair. It's not really your...
all. Like,
it's not your
as in-
jam, as it were, yeah.
Yeah, like, this is the first time, I think, in 4 years or something that I've had, like, really high initiative.
I would generally agree with you. Give me 1 second. I've got some bits and pieces to work out in the background here. So that's that one. That's that one.
There's no music currently playing, correct?
No, there isn't, but I'm
Okay.
I'll phase swap us, as it were, in a second.
It's all fine. Roll20 for me on Firefox is somewhat
A little,
dicey, so
yeah. No, that's perfect.
I'm never sure why, if I just need to reload or not.
And then I need to add a good old layer action, everyone's favorite. Alright. As you said, looks like you've got the initiative order. Give me 1 second. You have 1 minute to survive. Runedia, how do you want to kick things off?
Okay. Let me think. Okay. I see. Wait, actually, do I recognize this kind of thing? I have advantage on Arcana.
It will be an action to identify it, but you can make an Arcana check.
I think for now I want to get us some read. Yeah, well, I'll do it.
Okay.
Action.
Yeah, you have Arcana advantage. 11, and the next one? 16. This is what they call a proxy hydra. There is the central body buried somewhere underground, and then it can remotely control 4 snake-like heads. Whenever one of the heads is killed, it gets staggered, but it can then produce another head. It essentially sends out hydra heads to attack things remotely, while the core remains buried somewhere else. The heads themselves can be staggered, but on a 16 you don't know what by. You also know that they work incredibly well in conjunction with each other, so keeping them separate keeps them much weaker than if they're like near each other.
Proxy Hydra, keep them separate. Can't kill them. And then I will use my action surge immediately to do a volley. Actually, I'm going to use my bonus action to trigger my damage resistance rune, so my heal rune. I essentially have the benefits of Barbarian Rage now, which is insane as a benefit. Like, Rune Knight is so broken. And that doesn't even cost concentration. And then that was my bonus action. For my action, I'm going to shoot at this.
Sorry, it was an action to do the Arcana check.
Yeah. Bonus action, trigger thingy, then action surge.
Oh, action surge. Sorry, I missed that part. Go on.
Action surge. There you go, down. And then we do ranged attacks. As I am not moving, for I must defend my Folkseer. Ranged. That's with. No, that's not with Giant Might. Cancel. Sorry. That's without Giant Might and a. I'm gonna make a radiant attack against that.
Hits. 10 radiant damage does go through, blasting a hole through its kind of gelatinous form, really. But it doesn't stagger or anything like that.
Okay, in that case, second attack, this time lightning, 15.
15 does hit for 8 more damage.
Okay, no stagger then. In that case, I'm gonna stick with the radiant out of pure thing because I don't think they react to piercing. That would be nuts.
I think you did hit it with all your attacks before. 9 damage goes through. Not quite bloodied, but you have slowed it down as you put 3 shots straight through its center mass.
That is my turn. Next.
Onto one of the proxy Hydra heads. It burrows through the ground, moving 20 feet in this direction, and then it is going to dash and burrow this way, moving with like just the upper section of its body out of the ground, looking like a whole snake, like in a cobra fashion, with its head reared up as it moves around the ravines. It is Dolvik's turn. He will take some shots at one of the nearby proxy Hydra heads, sorry. Natural 1 as the shot goes wide, a little bit unwell from his experience so far. 18 will hit, however, for 8 damage as he does get a shot off. It is turn to lair, but you guys destroyed the pursuing forces, so the first lair action is a freebie. Over to you, Crimson Inquisitor.
Crimson Inquisitor is going to move here. And he is going to aim one. Oh, wait. I'm going to use a bonus action to try and do Insight. This is part of the Rogue Inquisitive Insightful Fighting. You gain the ability to decipher an opponent's tactics and develop a counter to them. As a bonus action, you make a Wisdom Insight check against a creature you can see but isn't incapacitated, contested by the target's Charisma Deception check.
Yeah, what's your target?
If you succeed, False Hydra head up here.
This one on the left, gotcha.
Yes.
And it needs to make a deception check, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I rolled it so well. That's a 19 minus 5, so it's 14. Yeah, no, you've got sneak against it. I think we can agree that probably worked.
Yeah. I'm going to spend a grit point for Deadeye. I'm going to target everything all in. I'll make 1 weapon attack, psychic damage for this.
Psychic damage versus this creature, yeah.
So, advantage.
You still have all your teamwork points. 21 does absolutely hit.
Yes.
Wow. 34 points of damage slams into this creature, blowing a chunk of its neck away. It is a big, sturdy miasmic monster, however, and does still remain.
Is it bloody?
It is not bloodied, no.
Okay. Second attack against it? Oh, not advantage, so 12.
12 would miss, unfortunately. Second shot, it manages to dunk itself down into the pool of miasma, and your card blasts away a section of it, but it then, like, just re-emerges, slithering from the inky pool.
Alright. That is my turn.
Divine Right. You have targets. What do you want to go?
What can we do next to attack? What's... That right there,
Yes.
that's on top of
Yeah, it is. It's on your level, as it were.
Okay, so I'm gonna take a step back. I have athlete, so I only need 5 feet of preparation movement to make a jump.
Yeah.
Can I make the jump to like right next to it?
Yes, you can, I would say. You could make that leap with just 5 feet of run up, for sure.
Right here. No. I'm going to break it.
Uh, 13 barely misses as it scrambles out the way, and you blast through a section of this ravine that it hides behind. Just slam through a section of rock face in order to get to it, but your attack barely misses. 15 does hit. 10 damage, slamming down into it. It splatters, oozing everywhere, but reforms slightly. That did blood you, but it is resisting your attacks a slight amount.
I
Alright,
would like
then.
to use my reaction.
Hold on. Divine Right. Divvy is going to flip the hammer, showing the other head. Using force damage instead.
16 would hit. 17 points of force damage. As you splatter through this creature, it sends sections of it too far away to reform. Who do you want to give a teamwork point to?
I'll give it to Crimson Inquisitor.
Okay, Crimson Inquisitor, you get a teamwork point. Anything else on your turn?
That'll be all.
Yana is just gonna hold her ground. She can take the dodge action like a clever person in this situation. And will have all of her, basically everyone that isn't Dolvik as well, also take the dodge action. She's in command of them all.
I would have liked to have used my reaction as Divine Right and Bloodied the pseudopod creature to use the attuned 7th level Sanguine Saint Bloodhunter feature and animate its spilled blood into an elemental.
Yeah, of course you can. Go ahead and drag your elemental onto the battlefield. I'll have it go after you on a turn, yeah?
Yes.
Cool. As the discarded sections of his body that could not reform, do you have like a relic on you or some sort of like crystal that does this? What's the source of this?
Yes. A blood red crystal that I have been so graciously afforded. Sort of chimes with power.
Is this a family? Is this a family artifact, or is it being given to you by like a benefactor or something?
I think this is a family artifact.
Okay. As you think of your family, you think of those in Empress City that you are protecting, the crystal phases and the elemental appears. Meanwhile, down here, this Hydra head is going to move 20 feet and then is going to dash up through the stonework another 20 feet, sort of erupting just its face through the stone next to one of the people in your charge. However, as it was before, they are a secondary objective. This morphic predator is able to climb over rock faces, so it is going to do that. And then is going to ambush the Divine Right from behind and attack. 21 and 23 versus AC Divine Right.
Going to use my second shield spell.
Second Arcane Barrier pops up, blocks those two strikes, both missing. Another Hydra head moving forward 20 feet to here. This one able to strike at the March of Progress, as it does have reach on its attacks. 24 versus AC. March of Progress.
24. Yeah, they hit.
21.
I would like to reroll that.
Rerolling the attack. Give me 1 second.
That's another one of my runes gone.
13 would miss. Unseen to you all, the core of the proxy Hydra somewhere underground is going to transfer a burst of energy to its Hydra head, and from the mouth of one of these Hydras, it can produce a lancing beam breath weapon of necrotic energy. It is going to choose this one that has popped out here, and is going to strike through Dolvik, Runedia, and the Crimson Inquisitor. I need dexterity saving throws from the 3 of them.
Does this count as a spell?
No, unfortunately, I would say it's a magical effect.
Okay. Sorry, what saving throw them again?
Dexterity.
Dexterity. I did roll. I'm gonna use an indomitable to reroll that.
Solace, if you have evasion, I think that's 12 necrotic damage that comes through.
Can I? Come on, sheet. Okay, 10. I still fail, so 24.
It rolled at 25 to me.
Nah, 6 and 10.
Okay, yeah, so 24 damage, and the same to Dolvik. 24 necrotic damage does go through. March of Progress, over to you.
Okay. These things were a little bit too close for comfort, if I'm honest. But I'm not in any danger right now. Yeah, sure. Let's go at this one over here a couple of times. Or I would if my sheet would work. What's the best way to approach this? I think it might just be 3 normal attacks, to be honest.
Yeah, go for it.
Let's do 2 thunder and a poison one.
Yeah, go for it. Thunder hits, 26.
Thunder.
13 damage, not staggered by that.
That's the second attack. I was roll the attack.
Oh, sorry, yeah. 26 hits, 13 misses. 22 hits as well.
Okay, cool. One of each. That's probably optimal the way I could have done that. 9 thunder damage, and then 12 poison damage.
They are staggered by poison. Who do you want to hand that to?
Yes! Is there anyone who doesn't? How does everyone have? I've lost track.
I got 1. And
You could. There you go. That answers the question. You can have the second one.
Okay. Anything else on your turn?
I don't think I have anything else. I don't need the second win, so my bonus action's kind of null and void. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. This Hydra head is going to move over and will attack Runedia. 24 versus AC.
I do not have a reaction to block that, so that's fine by me.
9 piercing.
Actually, this does not accurately track my health bar, so this I'm gonna do some Wow, and it crashed. What the hell?
Yeah, I think it killed your health bar. There you go.
1 second. So I click on this, minus 24. Please do math. Okay, I give up. So 150. I'm just gonna do this by hand.
Yeah.
Come on, roll 20. Please don't die on me.
Just -4. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, 1 second. 32, 28. Just.
It's
I'm
okay.
loading.
I'll move on to the next creature's turn, but just when you get a chance, move your health bar. Morphic Predator down in the south is going to run its speed 30 feet, and then it's going to slip past the other creature and dash up closer. Oh, whoops, wrong button. Where is this one? I think it's all the way in the north. Yeah. Running up and over the stonework here, and then it's going to close the gap with a dash up on top there. This one's going to get up and then dash down, so it's kind of in your formation. And then the almost killed one that's fighting the Divine Right will attack the Divine Right. 12 and 14, however, both will miss, so we're back to you, Runedia. Any more luck on your side at present?
Okay, finally, we're back at health bar. I likely shouldn't do math on that thing again. I am using my bonus action to swap to a sword-style weapon.
Yeah.
As opposed to my Runeslinger. And I am going to walk forward. I think they have that down there. Actually, one thing. Which one is the one that is fairly wounded?
That one there is very close to death. Yes.
Okay. Actually, in that case, before I do my swap, I'm going to shoot that one.
Yeah, taking one shot.
So that is. Again, I need to first get into my sheet. Okay, like I'm having a bunch of reasons now why I do not like these sheets. Holy crap!
It's okay.
So there you go. So this is not with Giant Smite. This is a, let's say, Radiant attack. There we go. 25.
That is enough. As your shot goes through, it no longer reforms. You blast this one out of existence.
Okay, in that case, that was my first attack. Bonus action, swapping into sword form. Moving up, 2 attacks against the one on my right.
That one's actually up on the rock face, so you could shoot at it before you moved, but in sword form, only the Proxy Hydra is in range.
In that case, the Proxy Hydra is getting it.
Okay.
Melee. Come on, sheet, open my melee macro, please. Okay, I'm doing this by hand now. 1d20 plus 10. 1d20 plus 10, and the damage is 1d8 plus 5 plus 2.
Okay.
I think. So that's first.
27 would hit, so that's 13 damage that does go through.
And second attack.
Natural 20 will certainly hit. So that's another 8 damage on top because of the way we're doing it. So that's 18 damage total.
Okay.
That does bloody this Proxy Hydra head.
Also, due to my slasher feat, has now reduced movement speed.
Yeah.
By 10 feet, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, reduce the speed of the target by 10 feet until the start of your next turn. And on a crit, it also gains disadvantage on all attack rolls.
Okay, so I have disadvantage on attack rolls on its turn, and its movement is reduced.
Okay. That is my action. Bonus action was the swap. That's my turn.
It is the turn of this Proxy Hydra head. I think it's gonna come up behind. It emerges through the wall here and is going to try and bite Eric at disadvantage because of the dodge. 16 will still hit. Does grab hold of this individual and unfortunately for this normal average person, that is enough. It does kill one of them.
Oh shit.
Dolvik will turn and fire at it in response. Uh, 10 misses, but 21 hits. 6 piercing damage. And we are on round 2 of 10 at present. Lair, I need Constitution saving throws from all of you, please.
Okay, please don't fuck me over now.
I think... Yeah, so you do all make the save. None of you are poisoned. I won't roll for the others. That's fine. Crimson Inquisitor. Might be muted, Capri.
I pull a card from my deck, flip it around to reveal the Joker, and I cast Slow via spell storing. 6 targets, all 4 false Hydra heads, and the 2 closest pseudopod morphic predators.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'll go in clockwise for the Hydra heads, so from top left.
DC 17 Wisdom save.
Fail.
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 1 success. Fail.
Fail.
So this one here is slowed. This one here is slowed. This one here is reduced speed and slowed. I think it has a movement speed of 5 feet now. And then 2 miasmic predators as well. Top left first. Fail.
Fail.
It's 15.
Fail.
Okay. All but 1 target now slowed. 1 attack on their turn. AC reduced by 2. Movement speed halved. Casting a spell. Weird D20 dice roll. And disadvantage on dexterity saving throws. I think that's the full list.
Yes.
Cool.
And since I can't take reactions, I am going to move right here.
Nice. I actually forgot the reaction part, so thank you for that.
And the water elemental.
Yes,
After
what would it
my
do?
turn, it's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As it sort of
Surges.
just envelops this head. It makes 2 slam attacks.
Yeah, go for it. Natural 20 most certainly hits.
How do I do?
Just click on the word attack.
Ah.
Wow. 24 points of damage as wham slams into it from the front.
Again.
Jesus Christ! Yeah.
It is not happy.
Another 26 points of damage on top. Holy shit. Yeah. Nice.
1 second. Each creature in the elemental space must make a DC 18 strength saving throw. On a failure, a target takes 13 2d8 plus 4 bludgeoning damage. If it's large or smaller, it is also grappled. It is grappled.
It is grappled and takes the damage.
Target is restrained and unable to breathe unless it can breathe water.
It can actually breathe underwater, but it is restrained.
Yes. So 2d8 plus 4. And that DC is because the feature says it uses my prof.
That's
so...
fine.
Yeah, okay, cool. 11 points of damage.
11 points of damage goes through. Excellent round for the elemental, tying up the Hydra that has burst through and killed one of your charges. Anything else from you?
That'll do it for both of us.
Divine Right, you've got 1 target next to you still.
Yep. Let me see what I can do with that.
Is intact at present, so fully health. 16 hits. 8 damage goes through, does stagger it. Who do you want to hand a teamwork point to?
Let's see.
You can take it yourself as well.
Give one to March of Progress.
Okay, another one to march. I think that's 3 or 4 for them.
Just throws my third.
22 will hit. 14 damage goes through. Very nice. Almost bloodied. 21 hits. Another 9 damage kicking in as well. It is pretty much exactly bloodied as in that one round you bring it to half.
Alright,
Anything else from you?
that'll be all.
Okay. Yana's gonna like no, she's gonna stay right where she is. She just realized if she goes left, she puts her next to that predator. She's like in the middle of this group. It is Proxy Hydra time. It's going to slide up and attack the March of Progress, at which point the other Proxy Hydra is going to use a reaction to attack at the same time, as they can link up and attack together if close by to one another. Actually, it can't because it's slowed, so it's just a 17. I forgot that the other one was slowed, can't use a reaction. 17 versus AC, March of Progress.
Does not hit.
Bounces off of your shell. You're completely fine. Does it get a wisdom saving throw at the end of its turn versus slow? Pretty sure.
Yes.
You can't call in the ship attacks at present as it is on the way. Wisdom saving throw. 15, still slowed.
Yep.
Morphic Predator time. It's going to return attacks against the Divine Right. 15 and 19.
19 does hit.
19 gets through. I do need a wisdom saving throw. You take 24 points of damage.
I am weak to Psychic.
Ooh, you are staggered, in which case I will recharge the Proxy Hydra's breath weapon.
That's still 24 in total.
Still 24 in total damage-wise, and I do need a wisdom saving throw from you.
Let's see. That is... And a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah. You make the save. You are not scared. Other Proxy Hydra head making its bite attack against the March of Progress. 27 this time. I hope we'll get through.
Yeah, I don't. My AC's not that high.
6 damage. But that is it.
Reduced to 3 because I'm heavy armor.
Nice. Barely scratches you. It is time for a breath weapon, and this Proxy Hydra head in the north is going to target the Divine Right. I need a dexterity saving throw from the Divine Right, and the Divine Right only.
Still not a spell.
You take 23 points of necrotic damage as it bursts through you.
Let's see.
Yeah, onto the March of Progress.
Who's slowed?
It is the Hydra here, the Morphic Predator to the north, the Morphic Predator to your south. Basically anything with like the little green circle clock in the top right.
Ah, I see. Right, cool. That's what I wanted to know, because I need to shuffle backwards ever so slightly, and I don't want to eat like 4 reactions.
I think there's only one with a reaction. Just the one to your right.
To my
And
right.
like the
Oh,
Hydras aren't that scary.
This one.
Yeah. I'll risk it. I'm gonna move anyway.
Yeah, we'll take an attack of opportunity as a reaction. 26.
That's fine.
Goes through for 17 points damage with your reduction.
Ouchie. Right. The reason, though, is so that I don't accidentally catch myself in the spell I'm about to cast.
What are we
There's
hitting
a
them with?
20-foot radius.
Oh, is that a fireball?
No, it is not fireball.
Oh.
It is something far cooler. I cast Synaptic Static.
Oh no, my brain!
Ooh.
Okay, intelligence saving throws, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
So the two morphic predators, I think, fail 10 and 15.
Not sure
Okay.
they can succeed, to be honest.
And now these very intelligent heads of mine, by the way, are -1 in 10. All 4 fail.
Lovely. Let me just double check the damage and all the effects. For some reason I put this in and it didn't actually put the spell in.
I think it's 8d6 psychic,
Yeah,
the same,
8d6 psychic.
and it has a -1d6 to all of its rolls or something like that.
Yeah, it's 23 damage. On a fail save, the creature has muddled thoughts for a minute. During that time, it rolls a d6, subtracts the number rolled from any attack rolls, ability checks, as well as Constitution saving throws.
Okay. What do I want to give it as a little symbol? I'm gonna give it this little whirly head thing. I know they're not the easiest thing to see at this scale, but it'll help me keep track at least.
I'm actually going to take a step back in, because if I don't stand here, they might just run past me and murder the NPCs.
Okay, Bless has dropped because you swapped it for, I can't remember what the other spell
Bless
was.
was
Slow.
not. Oh,
It's
yeah.
not a
it was.
concentration spell, I don't think.
Bless is, and so is Slow.
Yeah.
Wait.
We're on a different
so
person.
okay.
Sorry, yeah, March of Progress. Anything else on your turn?
Nope, that should be me.
This Proxy Hydra Head is gonna try and bite Renedia. Uh, 20 versus AC.
That does hit.
13 points of damage, and you do need to give me a Constitution saving throw DC 10 for your spell, I think.
Yeah, that's halved, by the way.
Yes.
Due
Due
to
to your
rage-like
rune.
effect.
Yeah.
And concentration, Constitution save. Oh, I clicked it. Yeah.
17, make the save. This predator is gonna come up over the wall. It's actually gonna take the dodge action and overlook what's going on here. This predator is slowed and muddled. I think it's gonna come down the cliff next to the March of Progress and attack from the left side. 25 minus 1d6. 21.
Nope.
Misses.
Would like to re-roll that.
It misses
You don't
anyway.
need to. It's 21, it doesn't hit.
Oh, it missed. I'm sorry. I thought.
It's all
Never
good.
mind.
It does get to give me a wisdom saving throw. I need to remember that. 14 fails. The next predator will also attack the March of Progress, who is, for someone called the March of Progress, very much stimmying my progress.
But I am marching my own progress.
It's called the March of Progress, not the Sprint.
Renedia, it's back to you, and we're at round 3.
With this development as it is, I think I am going to. Oh yeah, I know how I'm going to do this. I'm gonna rush down here. These are all slowed, so that this doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use my bonus action to trigger my Giant's Might.
Yeah.
It turns me into a large creature, taking up this entire space. Can I push that nightmare a little bit to the right?
Yeah, I'll say so.
I don't know how to enlarge my own token.
I do.
Woo! Thank you. So this should make me a somewhat attractive target, and as such, I am going to slice at the nightmare. Any preferences which nightmare I should choose?
I mean, they're both slowed. One of them is muddled. The one on your right hasn't been hit. The one on the north is just short of being bloodied.
No, just try and
Okay,
take out the
okay.
one on the north.
Yeah, in that case, I'm wailing on that one. With various attacks. So this one is with Giant's Might, I'm gonna make this a... This one I'm gonna make a psychic attack just to see what happens.
And this was versus... Yeah, 21 hits, 16 damage goes through. It isn't staggered. Force does seem to stagger this creature.
Okay. This is without Giant's Might, normal attack.
Hits for another 15. It couldn't take another hit like that.
And last attack. No Giant Might, normal.
Wow. Yeah, even if you roll a 1, which you can't because we're just adding +8, right? You slice this thing in two, you get through the very core of it, it is gone.
Okay. That was bonus action. Next.
Proxy Hydra Head is going to attack the water elemental because it's in its mouth. 29 will hit a water elemental for 15 damage. This thing is slowed. So Dolvik's gonna drop this way and take shots at the horrific predator monster. 24 and 19 both hit for 6 and 9 is 15 points of damage, which does bloody it. He is helping. To the north of you is the golden glow of a twisted divinity as something is approaching. Our Crimson Inquisitor, however, it is your turn.
I'm going to lean around the corner and make an attack against this thing using a grit point to give myself advantage on the first attack.
I really need to remember teamwork. I keep forgetting it myself.
And yeah, I will call in teamwork point with the Divine Right.
Needs to be attacking the same target.
So we're not. If we're gonna be attacked, we're gonna need to attack the morphic creature next to me. If that's the case.
Which I think works fine. That thing was weak anyway, and so taking down nice.
Yeah, can I still make a ranged attack against this one then?
Yeah, he's up, so yeah, it would be ranged.
I'll go ahead and use that. This will not be at advantage, but it will call in an attack from Divine Right.
Yeah,
so
using a teamwork point to call in the Divine Right with your attack, go for it. 19.
Attack as well.
Yeah, 19 hits, and you can make an attack as well, Divine Right.
Alright. Fuck.
Sadly, 12 misses, but 19 does hit.
Right.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It doesn't matter, as that single card fucking blows this thing to pieces. It scatters all over the rock face.
I like to imagine that what happens is, like, Divi just tries to hit it, but instead just, like, lifts it up without doing any damage, and just...
It just, like, knocks it up into the air for easy, like, skeet shooting as the card rips through it, bursts into pieces.
Oh, God.
And now let me just disable sneak attack. I will go ahead and turn and fire a 1 card at this one.
17 does hit. 19 points of damage goes through. It is bloodied, but otherwise still there.
How easy is it to get up on these cliffs?
For a Empress Knight like you, I don't think it's a problem. You can just get up there.
Alright. I'm just gonna get a good view of everything. Just...
Yeah,
Alright.
Taking some high ground. Divine Right.
Watermelon.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Water Elemental. I forgot. Yeah, Water Elemental first, then Divine Right.
Water Elemental with the steel chair.
Hits. 12 damage. I also heard Watermelon, but you know. 19 hits. Another 12 damage as the Water Elemental is nothing but consistent.
Alright, that is the turn.
Divine Right, over to you at this point.
Okay, stepping back, then I'm gonna make the jump all the way over here.
Yeah.
Wah. I see a problem. I'm going to kill it.
Hits. Force damage does stagger. Who do you want to give a point to?
I'll give one to Runedia.
Runedia gets a teamwork point. You have more attacks in you, I believe. Hits.
What? Hold on. Did not roll the damage? The heck?
So that's 12, and 15 would hit as well, so you may as well roll damage again.
Hold on. Okay, so... Okay, sorry. It was just... Things were getting weird.
That's fine. Another 13 points of damage goes through. It is bloodied as...
No, that's the attack roll.
Oh, I'm confused. I thought I saw you roll a... Oh, 15 was damage. Give me 1 second to go back and re-look at this. 27 for 15. 13 unfortunately misses, but the damage rolls are... Yeah, no, I definitely think we have learned our lesson. It is bloodied at the end of all of that Divine Right, but it is not yet down, as you once again swing in and take one down to half health, basically, on your turn.
Yeah, I don't know if I've made my third attack, or if I just made this damage attack twice.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I'm trying to work it out.
You rolled 3 times with a 1d20, and 3 times with a 1d12.
I think
Okay.
I think I've recorded it correctly. I think we're good.
Okay. Yeah, these templates are...
Yeah, it's very confusing. But anything else from you?
Yeah, it's been streamlined to the point where everything just feels homogenous.
Do we teamwork or not is the big question.
Oh yeah, is there anyone you want to call in for the teamwork on your attack?
Runedia.
Yeah. Yeah, targeting the same creature, the Morphic Predator.
The kill.
That is... Cool. I copy-pasted in the macro, and it's not triggering the macro. Okay, can I write? Okay, I can write. It's just not doing the macro. In that case, I'm just gonna do this by hand.
Yeah.
I have no idea what the hell this is. Okay.
1 D&D templates are not Blood Hunter friendly.
1d8 plus 2 plus 5, I think was the damage on this. Yeah. Should be.
Hits for 15 points of damage. It is very low.
Let me double check if my Giant's Might applies to this or not.
I would say so. It's once per turn, right?
Once on each of your turns.
Okay, on your turn,
Of
in
my
which
turn.
case I would say so. Alright. Anything else on your turn, Divine Right? You leap across, you attack it a few times, and then you sandwich it between the giant blade of Runedia and the heavy swing of your hammer, bringing it low but not quite finishing it off. I assume that's you. I'll move on. Is Yana safer if she runs past the creatures here on the left and into the corner or not? I don't think so. So I think she's going to stay put. I do think Oswald would run the other side here like that, rather being next to this weird drippy small creature than the big mouth creature. But then again, the big mouth creature is fighting on water elementals, so yeah, no, I think they'll just stay where they are. I think they're good. This proxy hydra, I think would see Runedia as a larger target and would instinctively bite after that. 18 versus AC Runedia.
That misses.
Very nice. And it is befuddled, so it would be minus 1d6 as well. And does it get a save at the end of its turn? Intelligence for Synaptic Static?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's permanent. Isn't it? Synaptic Static?
16 minus 1d6. Oh no.
The 16 wouldn't be enough to make it, regardless.
Oh, no, it can't possibly succeed.
Yes!
Oh no.
I love Synaptic Static as a spell. I was like, oh damn, my DC is like not super high. Maybe it's not gonna work, but it's fun.
This Hydra will try and bite you. I think that's the best chance I've got of getting rid of this. 18 versus AC, I think misses though.
Yeah, it does.
At the end of its turn, I will give it a Wisdom saving throw, because maybe it can make that one. 17?
Meets to beat it, yeah.
Okay, so it is free of slow at last, but is still wait, does it have minus 1d6 to all saves?
It doesn't have minus to saves at all.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's attack rolls and ability checks.
Alright. I need to roll to see if I get a laser beam this turn. I get no laser beam. March of Progress.
Right. I am surrounded.
You sure are.
Let me have a look-see here. I would like to be not surrounded, but there's nowhere I feel comfortable going because I'm worried about leaving Yana just exposed to all of the things that are currently melting me. Well, I say that, they're not doing a great job of hitting me. Okay, I guess it's just a case of attacking. I'm gonna attack this one to the side. I need to take myself off of circles, that would help. I'm gonna attack this one to the side of me. I'm gonna call in a teamwork point, so Renedia can attack with me, because you're also big enough to be next to it.
Yeah, absolutely. You can both attack that proxy Hydra head.
Lovely. I seem to remember they didn't like poison, so let's get some. 1, 2, 3. God, playing a fighter is weird.
24 and 20 both hit. 15 just misses. 20 also hits, so that's 11 damage from Runedia.
And then 1, 10, and 8. So 18.
Another 18 and a stagger. Who do you want to give a point to?
Who's not overkept? I'm gonna give a point to. I very nearly called him Dafer. That's definitely not Dolvik.
Oh yeah, okay, to the mercenary captain. Will do.
Yeah, I just want to make sure he's he's got something he can help with, just in case.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good choice. Anything else for your turn?
Well, I don't want to move and eat loads of attacks of opportunity, so no, I'm okay.
I think this Hydra head is gonna move in as fast as it can, which is very slowly, and will attack said captain. Oh, that's the wrong sheet. There we go. 21. I don't think it's got any other reductions. That does go through. 15 damage. However, this mercenary captain is made of sturdier stuff. Does manage to just barely move his body out of the way. Gets scratched by the tooth. Yeah.
I'd like to use my reaction
Reroll?
to have you reroll that one.
Yeah, go for it. 18, sorry, does still go through, unfortunately. It's 1 over his AC. So the 15 damage goes through. However, he does manage to move his body out of the way, gets slightly scratched, but is otherwise okay. Morphic Predator. I think it's going to go after the Divine Right, as they do have the weakness to psychic damage. So hopefully I can get a hit off. But 15 and 19. Roach. I think 19 meets your AC.
Sorry, I had myself muted the whole time.
That's fine.
Alright, yeah, 19 hits.
Okay, so that damage does go through, so it's 11 slashing, 18 psychic, and I do get my beam weapon back from my proxy Hydra core. Meanwhile, the other predator, the addled one, is going to attack March of Progress. Is still slowed as well, so he gets 1 attack. 21, I think, misses.
It does.
And fails the wisdom save, still slowed. Runedia.
Okay. I am going to first attack dude on the right here. And hopefully my melee macro now is no longer being blocked. Okay, Giant Smite, normal, 17.
17 versus AC versus the Predator, yeah?
Yeah.
12 damage does go through, couldn't take another hit like that.
Okay. Second one, that's no Giant Smite, that's normal attack.
12 unfortunately misses, as it does manage to dodge out of the way of your giant blade.
And third attack, I am going to strike at the large creature up top.
If you've got teamwork points, you could call someone in to try and
teamwork, sorry. Right. Divine Right, please tackle this thing. It shall go down.
No problem.
Thank you, Sam.
No worries.
I am terrible.
No, it's all good. 23 absolutely hits. That is 7 points damage, which is enough to finish it off, and you get a teamwork point to pass out because of the force damage.
Who do you give it to, Divine Right?
Giving it to me?
You can give it yourself, yeah?
No, yours! You
Oh.
are the person distributing.
Yeah, no, it's yours to give out.
Giving it back to Renedia.
Okay, straight back to Runedia, and you still have one attack left, Runedia.
And my last attack goes to this one.
Yeah, go for it.
Hopefully hitting. That is no Giant Smite. I'm gonna figure this out with Psychic. 16.
16 literally just hits. 15 damage goes through. Doesn't seem to be weak Psychic. I think you have seen it get staggered by poison from the March of Progress.
Okay. I would like for you to make a... What was it? Fire rune. I'm triggering basically the fire rune, which is a DC. It's a strength saving throw.
Yeah.
DC 9 plus 5 is 14, 18.
Just makes the save.
Okay. You do not take damage, I believe, and you're not restrained.
Okay, so it does manage to break free of the shackles of flame that erupts from the rune on your armor. Or weapon.
That was my third attack. For my bonus action, I am going to... that question. I have the telekinetic feat, which lets me use as a bonus action.
I would say
and
anything of your size or lower. So at large, everything on the battlefield is pushable by you at present.
Okay, in that case, I am pushing this thing 5 feet back, which should put it out of attack range of
and I
my troop.
believe that's a strength saving throw, yeah?
Yes, DC 18.
Oh no, I'm afraid I rolled exactly the right number again. 18 just manages to hold back.
Alright, in that case, that is my turn.
It is this Hydra's turn as the duel of Elemental versus Big Snake continues. 20 versus AC will hit the Elemental for 17 damage. I think Dolvik will make an attack at disadvantage against the Proxy Hydra in the south. And with a teamwork point, call in Renedia to attack that same Hydra in the south to try and free up a safe side for the group.
Okay, no Giant Smite. Normal.
18 hits and 20 hits for him as well. 21 points of damage, bringing it a little bit lower. It is bloodied, it is slowly wearing out. Next time the lair action arrives, the strange miasmic creature will be on the battlefield. In addition to this, the airship will also arrive next turn, as it is slightly earlier than you expected. You can see it in the south. So the angel thing is arriving from the north, the ship is arriving from the south. Yeah, next turn. Crimson Inquisitor.
Crimson Inquisitor is going to spend an actual grit point this time to do piercing shots with one of his cards in a line against these three.
Very
So,
nice.
First one is standard, no disadvantage,
Yep.
but it will have the sharpshooter feats going in, so
Yeah,
first
gotcha.
attack.
16 hits, just.
23 points of
23
damage.
points of damage, very nice. And then going through.
Going through, these next two attacks are at disadvantage.
Yeah.
Second attack. 12.
12 misses.
Teamwork's coming later.
Yeah.
And then the last
Okay.
one against the proxy. 17.
17 hits. 19 damage as the two larger creatures you easily blast through with a single strike. The smaller one harder to line up in a line with those big creatures.
And then he is going to pivot, spin on his feet, and make an attack against this Proxy Hydra head and call in his last teamwork point for the March of Progress to also make an attack.
Yeah. 19 hits.
This is a sneak, and this will be psychic damage. Oh,
I think I miss.
Yeah, 12 unfortunately misses. Wow, 38 damage goes through. It is bloodied. It is looking rough.
and that is my turn. And now the watermelon
Yeah.
will just continue wailing away on this thing. So
Yeah, go
first
for it.
attack,
Hits.
26. 18 points of bludgeoning damage.
Jesus.
Second attack,
17 hits.
17, 13 points of bludgeoning damage, and then 2d8 plus 4, 15 points of...
Can't believe I'm saying this, but how do you want this elemental to finish the thing off?
It goes inside and then expands until it pops.
Poof! The serpent bursts. That does stagger the unseen proxy Hydra core. Who do you want to give a teamwork point to?
I will give a teamwork point to Runidia, and then the elemental is going to move. Loop, 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 loop. Gets there. Divine Right, I am so sorry to say, but you are just covered in blood as it, like, passes over you like some viscous jelly.
Tidal weight of...
Vivi is a berserker in all but rage.
Does it make the grapple strength check?
Oh, yeah, you're right, it would.
save.
You're absolutely correct, because it's just in its space. 17.
Oh, it makes it.
Makes save as it manages to fend off the elemental.
Alright, I'm gonna step right here because now I feel safe. Alright, that's the turn.
Yana is going to move through, like, the space.
Wait.
Oh, sorry. sorry, I absolutely did. Divine Right.
Was there like a glitch in the
It's
turn order?
no, it was literally just me. I was like, I'll move on to this and wait for Chris to stop, and then once Chris stopped, I was like, all right, next. Like, it was like, look, yeah,
Okay. Activating my shell's barrier ability so I gain Shield of Faith
very cool.
for my bonus action. Now, going over here. So now I have 21 AC.
You do in fact have 21 AC as you approach.
At least until the concentration is broken.
Mhm.
Alright. Attacking that thing over there.
And 28 will hit. 11 damage to slam into it. 26 hits. Another 8 damage coming through. 16 also hits, just. Another 10 damage. I couldn't take another salvo of attacks like that as you bring it low.
You know what? You know, I'm feeling lucky.
Yeah?
Action surge.
Action surge, go for it. 14 just misses.
Oh boy.
13 just misses. You shouldn't have said it. Oh!
I also have brutal critical.
Oh, very nice. Go for it. So that's 15, and then
Wait, so that is brutal critical is I have
It's-
add 2 damage dice because I'm level 13.
yeah.
2 additional dice.
So it's 12 plus another 2d12. So just roll me 1d12. Because you'll get one of them maxed anyway. So that's literally its remaining health. As how do you want to finish it off?
Just like the first 2 hits weren't hit like didn't do much, but just like breathe, step back, like a fucking Looney Tunes character,
Yeah.
and just like swing.
Just like right onto the end of the nose, the shock wave travels through. We see every bone in its body break down the whole progression as it just slams down. What does the curse do in your reaction?
Blood Curse of the Fallen Puppets. Let me read it.
Oh, it can attack a creature within
Yeah.
range, right?
Oh, wait, within 30 feet. No, I can't. Never mind.
Oh, it has to be within 30 feet of you when it drops.
Yep, never mind.
Killing this also staggers the core. Who do you want to give a teamwork point to, Vyn, right?
Let's see who's.
Our NPCs.
I'll give one to Crimson.
Okay, Crimson gets a teamwork point. Yana, I think they're gonna.
I think it was within 30 feet.
I would agree with you. You were within 30 feet. Yeah. Do you want to make
okay,
the attack
Yeah,
versus
it's
the
gonna-
north one? Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna do that. Wow, by
Uh,
sense of...
25. 18 damage does go through. Very nice.
Alright.
Yana will move her team south slightly, since that seems to be the safer side of things at present. Unless anyone's got anything else they'd like her to do, I think she's going to end her turn there. Dodging, obviously. Proxy Hydra in the north, attacking the March of Progress. That is its purpose. 20 minus 1d6, but still 20 misses anyway. I have to roll to see if I get a beam. I do get a beam. I think it's gonna go through March of Progress and Runedia. I need dex saves from March and Runedia.
A dex save, you say?
Yes, dexterity please. 22 makes it, 9 fails. 28 points of necrotic damage.
I think I'm gonna take this time to spend a use of what the hell's the ability called?
Dominable?
That's the one.
Reroll?
Dominable.
Yeah, for the reroll.
Gotcha.
Let's try again. 27.
That'll make it. That's 14 damage to each of you, and I think I need DC 10 concentration from both.
Oh, right. I half this, so that's not.
Do I have to make the concentration save if I have evasion?
You do not, because you take 0 damage, which triggers no concentration save. And you make the save, Runedia. March of Progress, that makes it your turn.
Lovely. There is another head that is right next to me,
There
and I would like it to not be. I'm going to try and kill it. I need to take this off of query. That was cool for a little bit, and now it's starting to get annoying.
13 misses, I'm afraid.
I have too many attacks to click all at once. 23, 24.
Both of those will hit and will stagger as well, so who do you want to give a teamwork point to?
Let's go to... Yeah, let's give one to the Divine Right, I guess.
Divine Right, gotcha.
And then 14, 28 poison damage.
28 poison damage, starting to bring this one low as well.
Lovely. Yeah, I'm good. Still hanging out.
Anyone?
I think this Hydra head will attack Dolvik. Natural 20 will go through.
Wow.
19 and
Okay.
9. Nope,
Does he survive this?
he does.
Okay.
He is up with, I'll tell you, he's got 11 health left at present.
Okay.
This head also needs to give me a wisdom saving throw at the end of its turn. Fails to save, still slowed.
If it was slowed, would it? Does slowed also require them to take disadvantage?
No, it just means if they've got more than one attack, they can only make one, and unfortunately, they already only have one attack. It does prevent them from making attacks of opportunity, which will allow Dolvik to back away at least.
Okay.
Also
This-
-2 AC.
-2 AC, also very nice. This Predator is attacking the March of Progress, but I think it's also still slowed, so it gets one attack. 16
Nope.
definitely misses, but I do get my wisdom saving throw. 9 fails, is still slowed, and Runedia.
I would like to position myself over here. I would like to push Dolvik either to the side or to the south.
Yeah, give me 1 second, I've just got to shift you over a little. There you go.
And then I would. What's the ideal? Okay. I am going to, in huge form, I'm going to put my blade in front of me, and the hand with the green rune touches the blade, coating it in a green
Yeah, poison.
sheen. Poison. I'm going to attack the thingy in front of me.
Okay.
That is going to be a melee attack. There. With Giant Might, normal. That's a 13 that misses, I assume.
13 misses, yeah.
Second. Still Giant Might. 25.
Absolutely hits, 16 damage, and that does stagger it.
DC. Nah, I haven't dealt poison damage yet. DC 14 con save, please.
DC 14 con save, okay. It does have good con. 24.
Yeah.